is ours to battle on. The sweat is ours to shed. The pride is ours to carry. All heart, all grit. This is NEC Hoops. Built to battle.
And good evening, everyone. Welcome inside the NEC home office. I'm Craig D'Amico, and this is NEC Full Court Press, the regular season finale for NEC women's basketball. And we start our whip around coverage tonight, NFL RedZone-style, in Massachusetts. Are one of 4 games that'll be going on here this evening with Central Connecticut State and with Chicago State and Stonehill. The Chicago State Cougars and the Stonehill Skyhawks both battling in playoff positioning. Stonehill is in at the number 7 spot at the moment. Chicago State, they are fighting to perhaps maybe even host a home game. So this is our first stop. Also going on right now here at the 6 p.m. hour, we have a game out at Mercyhurst with Mercyhurst taking on LeMoyne. Mercyhurst trying to fight to be the number 2 seed. LeMoyne trying to fight for a top 4 position as well. So right now, let's send you over and take a little peek at what's going on out here in Pennsylvania as our NEC Full Court Press whip around coverage is off and running. So they're going through the national anthem out in Erie, Pennsylvania, as LeMoyne gets set to take on Mercyhurst. These are the 2 hottest teams in the NEC right now. You'll look at the Mercyhurst Lakers. They've won 5 in a row and 12 of their last 14. If they win tonight, they are likely the number 2 seed. There are some other factors and outside results that could lead to some ties, taking us all the way to the net rankings to see whether or not Mercyhurst is the 2 seed. But if they win tonight, there is a very good chance they will be the number 2 seed. And for the LeMoyne Dolphins, they come in having won 6 of their last 7 games. You see Coach DePillo right there. This is a team that started the year 3-7 in conference play, but once that calendar flipped to February, they were off and running. And again, they are challenging to be in the top 4 as well. Perhaps this is the game that has the most at stake tonight involving seeding. Mercyhurst, as we mentioned, they need to win. And depending on what happens with LIU and Chicago State as well, they could get the number 2 seed. LeMoyne, they can clinch a first-round home playoff game with a win and a Wagner loss. Wagner doesn't play until 7 p.m., so about an hour from now, and we'll get you to that game. We're going to be whipping around through all 4 games, 2 here at the 6 p.m. hour, 2 at the 7 p.m. hour. 1 game has already gone final here today. It was an early Kids Day game, 11 a.m. on the banks of the Hackensack. The FDU Knights defeating St. Francis Red Flash 61-39. It was an historic win for FDU as they finish off a second straight perfect regular season in the NEC. Last year 16-0, this year 18-0, and now 37 straight wins in the regular season in conference play, a streak that started in 2024 that's going to continue into next year, into 2027. That's absolutely incredible, especially considering they turned over a bunch of their roster, almost half their roster, but the standards never change. Coach Gately with her defense, and you can make a case in some areas FDU is even better than they were with last year's team. But they've won 19 in a row this year, which is the 5th longest active win streak going on right now in women's basketball. You got UConn 31 in a row, UCLA 22 in a row, Rice 22 in a row, McNeese 20 in a row, and then FDU 19-0 coming on in there, and it's their 27th overall win. So 3 more wins for FDU. They'll get to 30, which they didn't accomplish last year. Last year they finished at 29, and no NEC team has accomplished since Quinnipiac back in 2013, that Gold Rush Bobcats team with Coach Fabry. So FDU beating St. Francis today. They were led by Kaylee McDonald, who is our interview guest this week on our NEC On the Run podcast. You'll see that once our games hit halftime here in our early window. We'll play that interview for you. She was the leading scorer with 17 points, 5 more threes. She came in with 88, so now up to 93 3-point field goals, getting closer to 100, which is rarefied air in the NEC to get to 100 3-point field goals. Not that many players have reached that area. Sharon Hayward did last year for Stonehill, and I mentioned Stonehill right now is hosting Chicago State. That's the game that we started you at, and we'll get you back there in a few moments as they're just getting to the under 5-minute timeout in the first quarter. This game is getting underway. And so FDU, by the way, they beat St. Francis. The NEC tournament quarterfinals, they start on Monday. They are already locked in playing St. Francis. FDU is your regular season champ as the number 1 seed. St. Francis is the number 8 seed. And we know Stonehill, as we mentioned before, they're the number 7 seed. All the other seeds still up for grabs, and we will sort that out for you here over the course of the next 2 hours, 3 hours or so. 3 hours of relatively commercial-free NEC hoops on this NEC women's basketball regular season finale game day. Glad you could be along with us here in our NEC full court press. Again, these are 2 of the hottest teams in the league right now, and their head coaches go way back. Speaking about FDU, Coach DePillo for LeMoyne and Aaron Mills-Reed, who is serious contention to be the coach of the year. We might get into some of the end of the year awards here throughout the evening. That'll be announced coming up on Monday. But both Aaron Mills-Reed and Coach DePillo for LeMoyne were at FDU at the same time. They went to school together 20 years ago on the banks of the Hackensack. So now, here they are coaching against each other, and they both hope to challenge the present-day FDU women's basketball team once we get further into March in the conference tournament, which begins with the quarterfinals on Monday. Opening minute, no score. Mercyhurst, the number 3 scoring offense in the NEC at 64 points per game. They can really knock down the threes. They have 4 players on their roster that are top 20 in the league in scoring. No other team is more than 2. Here's Lena Walls. Lena Walls is one of those players, averaging 10.8 points, 4.5 rebounds, about 2 assists per game. Rattles in both free throws. Mercyhurst draws first blood from the charity stripe. 2-0. Mercyhurst with a little bit of a press, making it interesting for LeMoyne to cross the timeline. They finally do, and they throw it away. So that little bit of pressure forced an errant pass, and now Mercyhurst with an open look. Can't leave Jenna Van Schaik that wide open. She didn't convert that time, though. Jenna Van Schaik has been absolutely dominant down the stretch. Started with the game that we saw against Wagner a couple weeks ago, driving to the basket, taking the hits, absorbing the contact. It's her senior year. She sees the light at the end of the tunnel. She's doing everything she can to will this team on her back. Sophomore CC Hernandez, much bigger role this year. She takes a tumble. Numbers in LeMoyne's favor, but they come up empty on the jump shot. Oh, read that pass extremely well.
Here comes Sydney Postel, and she draws the foul.
Sydney Postel, the junior from New York State, has been in the starting lineup for LeMoyne really since mid-January. Coincidence or not, we mentioned she got in the starting lineup, and not too long after, LeMoyne went on this current stretch, having won 6 of 7 games.
LeMoyne's in the bottom half, or bottom 2 rather, of
the LeMoyne Dolphins, one of the, not just the best free throw shooting team in the league at 79%, they're one of the best free throw shooting teams in the entire country. They make 1 out of 2 on this trip. So all 3 points so far in the opening 2 minutes from free throws.
LeMoyne 997, Mercyhurst 795, a difference of 202.
Van Schaik looks over her options. Foul line jumper for Hernandez is no.
Hernandez was kind of coming around a curl right there on a screen and a nice open jump shot,
Hockey score,
but can't convert.
as we're 2.5 into the first.
So Hernandez has missed her first couple of opportunities.
Had no one around.
Bragas.
Opted to not take the jumper. Wangalo swings it back for Postel. And now Eli Clark averaging 8 points per game.
LeMoyne has the Clark sisters, Caden and Eli.
Shot clock, swinging in.
Third set of sisters in LeMoyne history, first since the 80s, and nice cleanup work by Bragas on the glass, already with 2 points on that bucket and 2 rebounds. LeMoyne has their first lead 3 minutes in.
That's how clean it went down.
Bragas' 78th offensive rebound of the season.
Now she's known for that double-double threat, has 6 this season. Hall expands her range. Rebound.
No good on the 3 ball, but it's stolen right back, and from underneath, a steal and a score. So Walls has the 2 points at the free throw line, got a steal on the inbounds, and then was able to score from right underneath the basket. Walls is 4 points, a rebound, a steal. LeMoyne talking with Coach DePillo going into our game of the week last week. Bragas, it's a necessity in this offense. She gets a touch every single time LeMoyne gets down the floor. They're not a team, are the Dolphins, that are going to score in bunches. Their scoring offense is only at 56 points per game, so they do not want to get into a 3-point shootout with the Mercyhurst Lakers. In fact, that's what happened the last time these two teams met. 3 ball rims out. Last time they met, Mercyhurst scored a season-high 89 points and hit 15 3 balls. That meeting was back in January.
Hernandez missed her first 3 shots before unloading.
Lennon, one of the top 3-point shooters for LeMoyne, gets it from deep and comes up empty there.
Here comes Van Schaik.
LeMoyne 1 for 5 from the field to start this ball game. Mercyhurst not that much better. They're 1 for 7.
Just try to get something good offensively. Try to go inside attack. Hernandez in the corner. Walls. Her 3-pointer.
Walls no good, and now Mercyhurst 1 for 8. 0 for 5 from behind the arc. So both teams with a sluggish start here in the first 5 minutes. Coming up at the next whistle, the media timeout will send you to the other game going on as we speak. Stonehill taking on Chicago State. Bragas, the feed inside, just off the fingertips, out of bounds. Let's send you out to Massachusetts. We continue our whip around coverage on this women's basketball regular season finale game night. We have Stonehill and we have Chicago State.
Hill.
All right, so Chicago State on the road with a slim 1-point lead, and they're going to increase it with a nice find down low. Bucket there by Urlacher with under a minute to go in the first quarter. So Cisco leading the way for Chicago State in this game. She has 6 of the 18 points. Dowdy has 6 of the Stonehill 15.
Outside Webster 3 ball.
Webster lined that one up pretty well. Shot no good. Long rebound, and now here comes McGee in transition. McGee rejected. McGee's been having a solid season.
Great hustle back there. She had 2
Maybe not first team, but potential second. She's going to be up there when the first and second team comes out. Chicago State lost their leading scorer from last year right at the start of the season. They need players to step up in new roles, and McGee was certainly one of those players. She had a pair of 19-point games last week.
3-second differential between
Big win by Chicago State over Wagner, and that's what got Chicago State into position where tonight, going into tonight, they still have an opportunity to clinch a first-round home playoff game. They won a playoff game on the road last year as a 6th seed, got to the semifinals, and were playing for a chance to go to the NCAA tournament in their first season. Dowdy's going to get to the line for free throws there.
She's comfortable to make that back to the basket move.
Brianna Hill called for the foul.
So again, Skyhawks locked into the number 7 seed regardless of the outcome tonight. They can't improve or worsen their seeding. But, you know, they win, they finish at 8 and 10, which sounds better than 7 and 11. So still something to play for. And by the way, it is Stonehill's senior night. We didn't get to show it because it happened before we went on the air here on our streams, but they did honor the seniors. Usually you see senior night on the Saturday games, but they had a senior night here tonight honoring their senior players prior to the start of the ball game. So there is something to play for tonight for Stonehill in front of the seniors and family, friends. Most likely the last home game for those seniors. It's an 18-15 Chicago State lead. After one quarter, we'll keep you updated on this one, but right now let's send you back to Mercyhurst. All right, 3:40 to go, and only 7 points have been put in here in this one. LeMoyne 1 for 6 to start the game. Mercyhurst 1 for 10 from the field. 0 for 6 from behind the arc. LeMoyne wearing the black, Mercyhurst wearing the white. In a game that perhaps has the most playoff implications, especially here in our early window. We have Wagner and LIU coming up at 7 Eastern. Hernandez with the steal, tried the pass to thread the needle, and the LeMoyne defender got in there forcing the kickball situation.
Attacked the entire way, but she tried to draw the defense in, as we see on the replay.
The LeMoyne Dolphins, 7 turnovers in not even the first 7 minutes.
Was more on Fazzetti than anything else. They were daring her to go right down the lane.
Talking with Coach DePillo, and even a couple weeks ago in our NEC on the Run podcast interview with LeMoyne's Ashley Baragas, she told us the thing that really stands out to her with Coach DePillo is when he says, touch the Dolphin. And we know that when in their home arena, when someone commits a turnover during practice, the team has to run up the bleachers and touch the Dolphin that's on the top wall of their gym, kind of do like a sprint up and down the bleachers. Ashley told us she dreads hearing that. They might be hearing that a little bit here next time they get back home for another practice, because 7 turnovers here to start this game. Fortunately, Mercyhurst has not been able to take advantage on the scoreboard of those 7 turnovers. It's a tie ball game, and Wangalo with another free throw here to give LeMoyne back the lead, and she got it.
And Wangalo hits both, and LeMoyne ahead by 1, 5-4.
So this game has kind of been played within a 3-point swing. The largest lead for Mercyhurst was 2 points. The largest lead for LeMoyne is right now 1 point, and we're under 3 minutes to go.
Lakers trying to get their offense back rolling.
So LeMoyne, again, they need to win here and have Wagner lose later tonight. Nice pass threading the needle. Wagner playing LIU later tonight. Mercyhurst needs to win.
Second made field goal thus far for Mercyhurst. Shooting 16
I hope Chicago State loses. So they're actually rooting for Stonehill in that other game that we were in the middle of watching.
Catch on the right wing, darts by Fazzetti, and takes it all the way right to Van Schaik.
Rachel Lynch coming in for LeMoyne.
So more free throws for the Dolphins. LeMoyne goes deep on their bench. They play about 10 to 12 players. Coach DePillo talking about, hey, you know, we have a lot of new players this year, a lot of freshmen, one of the teams that have the most freshmen in the entire league. I said, you can't get freshman experience by having them sit on the bench. You got to play them, and that's been his philosophy this year, and he's gone pretty deep. In fact, let's see. 6, 7, 8, 9. He's already gotten 9 players into this game here in the first 8 minutes.
LeMoyne using free throws to get in the lead once again. Good cutting pass.
Oh, look at that extra pass. Not only did they thread the needle, but then they passed it back. And Hall able to lay it in. Jenna Van Schaik with the dime.
Well, if you can't hit him outside.
I got a backcourt violation. Get another look here. That pesky Mercyhurst defense crossing over and then, yeah, stepping back. That's a great call. And again, good defense by Mercyhurst, forcing the 8th LeMoyne turnover.
Van Schaik, pass for CC Hernandez. Wilson, crossover, gets down.
And crossover going to the left hand. Wilson, potentially the rookie of the year this year in the NEC.
Going up for the shot attempt.
Did everything but score.
Take a look at Wilson's updated stats here. She's at over 11 points, 3 rebounds, 3.5 assists. She had a double-double when we saw her on NEC TV a couple weeks ago against Wagner. Multiple-time Rookie of the Week. So definitely she'll be on the all-rookie team. Potential Rookie of the Year candidate. We mentioned this on our broadcast a couple of weeks ago. Coach Mills-Reed talking about how she found Sophia Wilson, that, you know, when Coach Mills-Reed was at Akron, she saw her as a junior and a senior in high school because they were recruiting other players. She was on a high school team with 3 other Division I players, and Coach Mills-Reed was like, why isn't anybody looking at the point guard that's feeding the other 3 Division I? Like, why isn't anybody doing that? Always had Sophia in mind, and when Erin Mills-Reed got to Mercyhurst, it was one of the first things she did, first week on the job, or 2 days after she got the job, but I stand corrected, was one of the first phone calls, and Sophia Wilson has had an incredible season. She's up to her scoring. She was primarily a facilitator when she was in high school, but she's upped her offense a little bit and has definitely gotten more comfortable with that as the season has gone along. Wilson has not scored yet in this game, though. Points. Fuzetti and Hall each have 2. Those are the 8 Mercyhurst points.
Mercyhurst lead after a quarter here tonight.
No, that was the story in the first game.
Mercyhurst shooting 3 for 15, 0 for 6 from behind the arc, and that takes us to the end of the first quarter. The Dolphins leading, trying to get into the top 4 and host a playoff game in Syracuse. They're up on Mercyhurst as we send you back to Massachusetts, Stonehill, and CSU. Okay, Stonehill, Chicago State tied at 20.
Again, here's the full court pressure.
Under 7 minutes to play in the first half.
Tier loses McGee.
Allen and Cisco each with 6 points to lead the way for the Cougars. 6 points for Amaya Dowdy, along with 2 blocks.
Dowdy,
former LIU Shark.
We'll try it from there.
Trying to show off her range. I don't know if that's her game, hitting from that far away.
Cisco open.
Lucky.
Battled that one out.
Very lucky there.
Cisco had made her first 2 3-point attempts, not that time.
And a good defensive play.
Good denial, trying to get inside Mount, deflecting it out of bounds to prevent a fast break opportunity towards the basket.
Stonehill ball from the baseline. Skyhawks shooting 42%.
First time they met, Chicago State won by 3, 51-48.
Oh, perfect
nice
pass
look
by
inside
Delaney.
that time.
Yeah.
Amaya Dowdy's got 8.
Dowdy with the layup, Delaney with the assist.
Now Mount turns and
Oh,
scores.
what a tough shot. Yeah, that was good deep by Dowdy right there, and Mount just shooting it right over.
So Pelletier and Paquette both had opportunities in the final moments of that first meeting with 3 balls to tie the game. Couldn't do it back in January, but there's Brooke Paquette knocking down a 3 here to put Stonehill back in front. Brooke Paquette, a 1,000-point scorer. She reached that plateau last weekend.
All right, nice cut
Nice
there.
cut to the basket, exactly. Paris Bath with her first 2 of the night.
Mount with the assist on that bucket. Paquette, 14.5 points, 4 rebounds, close to 3 assists. She came in with 1,022 career points, 36th member of the Stonehill 1,000-point club. She gets the basket, count it, and one.
Just
Hit
off
the
pass
3
here,
moments
just
ago,
nice little shot fake, reads the
driving
lane.
to the basket,
Great job.
and
of
she'll go to the
finishing
line, a
off the
chance for a
contact on her way
3-point
up.
play. She's started now 64 straight games. We've seen her become the most improved player. This year, she's taken it to another level as one of the veterans on this team, taking on that leadership role. I know Coach Brown still getting on her to try it and perfect that defense part of her game, but
And a whistle and another offensive
we got an
foul.
offensive foul away from the basketball. It's going to be on
Been a
McGee.
moving screen, yeah.
We're going to call that on
screen.
McGee.
Yeah, that's McGee. That's her first.
Keona McGee picks up her first foul. That is the third.
Each team
on
with
the team.
5 turnovers as we approach 5 minutes to play in the half.
Improve a 4-point lead.
And we're keeping track of all the playoff scenarios here on this regular season finale as Brooke Paquette drains another 3. So she got the first 3, then she got a 3-point play. Now she had that's 9 out of her last 14 points have come in the last, minute and a half?
Boy, let's see that. Well, see the 3
Check
again
out the
from
3.
Paquette.
So Delaney draws Cisco in, who's guarding Paquette. And
Yeah, we're keeping track of all the playoff scenarios.
All she has to do is catch and shoot.
As we got a timeout with 4:50 to go, you're watching full coverage of the regular season finale women's basketball. This is the Full Court Press.
Hours to battle on.
Hernandez.
Okay, so again, 2 games going on right now here at the 6 o'clock hour. You have the Stonehill-Chicago State game, and then this game, Mercyhurst and LeMoyne. We have 2 more games that are going to be tipping off at the top of the next hour at 7 p.m. New Haven, Central Connecticut. The only game out of the 4 tonight that has really no playoff implications to it, as New Haven not eligible, Central Connecticut not in the field. They're the odd team left out of the eligible teams. And then LIU and Wagner, which has a ton of implications, particularly for these 2 teams, as Mercyhurst is kind of rooting against LIU and LeMoyne is kind of rooting against Wagner. LeMoyne needs Wagner to lose, and then they need to win in order to sneak in as that number 4 seed and get a first-round home playoff game. So we're going to shake all this out for you. By the end of our broadcast tonight, we will know the 4 quarterfinal matchups in the NEC tournament, which starts on Monday night. We already know one of the matchups, FDU and SFU, a rematch of the game from earlier this morning, 61-39, FDU with the victory. So they will meet again on Monday. That's your 1-8 matchup, one of the 4 quarterfinals. The rest of the field playing out here in front of our eyes. Glad you could be along with us. We are on YouTube, Instagram, Twitch for the Full Court Press. A much needed 3-ball.
They were 0 for 9 before that.
Yeah, not a good way to start for Mercyhurst. 0 for their first 9 from behind the arc. They finally hit their first 3 with just under 7 minutes to play here in the first half. For Jenna Van Schaik, that was her first bucket. And Baraga's trying to get to the basket. She was fouled by Van Schaik, and that's JVS's second foul. So Van Schaik's going to have to come off right now. One of the top scorers, one of the hottest scorers for Mercyhurst. Or is she? Jenna Van Schaik looking back at her coach. Coach talking with one of the officials. Looks like Van Schaik might stay on here with 2 fouls.
Also played basketball and volleyball at John Jay East High School.
Female officials.
So the officials are gathering together for some sort of discussion. Again, they were talking with Aaron Mills-Reed first. Coach Reed was talking with one of the officials, and then then after that conversation, then the two officials got together and huddled up.
Looking at a potential lane violation, nothing doing there. So Baragas gets her second. And she misses
Yeah,
that.
so one of the two free throws, offensive rebound, but it was stolen away.
There just swipes it. 6-point lead for LeMoyne.
So this is one where you put your trust in your senior. Jenna Van Schaik with 2 fouls, staying in the game. She gets blocked from behind.
And Schaik took a seat as well.
4th block this season for Lennon.
Talking with Erin Mills-Reed just a couple weeks ago, she talked about Jenna Van Schaik saying, I wish I coached her for more than just 1 year.
Have put a halt to this Mercyhurst offense. 5 for 22, nearing 23%.
Baragas was looking for somewhere to go.
On the shot clock. Swinging around, Lombardi, a crossover around Walls.
Wow, nice move to get around Walls. That's Michelina Lombardi, one of 2 seniors on this LeMoyne roster, along with Sierra Lennon.
And credit to Lombardi.
Lombardi, her first bucket of the game. LeMoyne has 9 different scores in this game. Nobody has more than 4 points. 9 different players are on the scoreboard. Things have very much been distributed around. And LeMoyne with the lead, shooting 50% from the field, trying to get into the top 4, a team that's won 6 out of their last 7 games.
Quick move inside, and she draws the foul.
These two teams have been meeting since the 85-86 season. They split their meetings last year, but as we mentioned, Mercyhurst won the first meeting this year with a season-high 89 points, 15 threes. A little bit different this time around. It's 21-16, Dolphins in front here on the Full Court Press.
Only scored 6 points.
Stonehill has increased their advantage. They're on an 8-0 run. They've held Chicago State scoreless for the last 3 minutes plus. Cougars trying to end that drought. Mount with the shot. They couldn't do it. And now here come the Skyhawks, soaring up the court in transition. Pull-up jumper is no good.
And then the rebound pushed too far
Use
ahead
it
of Brianna Hill.
out of bounds, but it will stay with the Cougars.
Was that deflected away from her?
I
I guess it
believe
was.
Brucey Smith came from behind and tapped that.
So Chicago State ball.
Chicago State shot 8 for 16 in the first quarter, but it's only 2 for 12 here in the second quarter, and we have 2 minutes to play.
Back down inside for Kayla Mount.
And a traveling violation turnover.
Yeah, hopped into that one.
So Chicago State, they can get either the 4, the 5, or the 6 seed. Their only path to a 4 seed is get a win over Stonehill and have both LeMoyne and Wagner lose. So the hierarchy, I guess, for the number 4 seed, Wagner has the first crack. If they beat LIU, Wagner will be the 4 seed. If Wagner loses, then up next would be the LeMoyne Dolphins, who we just saw taking on Mercyhurst. They would have the second chance. If Wagner and LeMoyne both lose, Chicago State would have the third chance to clinch the number 4 seed with a win. Again, if they lose, though, they could end up as either a 5 seed or a 6 seed.
Won't fall for McGee.
Stonehill, they are locked in at the number 7 seed, and they're locked in here tonight, including Brooke Paquette. We saw her have that 9-point burst the last time we checked in on this game. She is still firing on all cylinders here. 16 points.
Per game average of 15.5 thus far this season.
Yes, 5 rebounds as well. Player that starts every game, rarely comes off the court. It's now a 10-0 Stonehill run.
Basket. She loves that little right to left in transition to finish with her left. Second time now for Webster, not coming to meet the pass against the pressure. Results in a turnover.
Floater won't go, though. The follow is up and no good from Mount.
Brooke Paquette coming into play today, the second leading scorer in the NEC. only behind Khadijah Toure.
Straightaway three.
Wide
balls.
open
Strong
look
that time
for Pelletier.
And the rebound
Maybe a little too wide open.
for McGee.
Oh, nice move by McGee.
McGee inside scores.
McGee very smooth, able to keep
First points for Keanu
that possession,
McGee.
trying to
She's
dribble
just
her
under
way
50
through the
in
lane.
game,
That
which is
ends
sixth
the
best in the
run.
conference. Her first bucket of the night comes in the final minute of the first half.
McGee was 0 for 6 to start the game before that first
Whistle
bucket.
stepping on the sideline
It was a
Delaney.
10-0 run, ended
Stonehill turnover.
right here.
And that's unfortunate there. That's Paquette. She's
One of
gonna
the
slow
top
that
guards
down.
in the league
Sorry, taking a look at
this
McGee
season.
here. Great move there behind the back. Dipped right around Delaney. Yeah, Paquette coming down the other way on offense. You got to understand, take that last shot offensively. You don't need to rush. We don't need to push the ball. Take one last shot.
McGee averaging
Now
about
Chicago
12
State
points,
left with
4
that chance.
rebounds, 2 assists per game. Final 10 seconds
Now McGee pulls back.
from the elbow.
And the rebound to
Mount
Paquette.
tried
3
to
seconds,
wrestle away the
she'll let it
rebound, not
fly.
gonna
It's
get
off
it.
the mark, and that'll end the first half.
And the first half comes to an end.
Skyhawks with a very good
Strong second quarter for
scoring
Stonehill,
20
creates
points
separation.
to just 8.
They've led by as many as 11. They had a 10-0 run late in this half. They lead by 9 at the break. 35-26. Stonehill in front
Take a look
at the half.
Fast 5, the top 5 plays from the past week in
And also getting
Okay, while the Stonehill Chicago State game is at halftime, we will take you all the way to halftime in this game, the final 3 minutes. And then we will have our interview with Kaylee McDonald, who had 17 points earlier today, 5 more threes, part of our NEC on the Run podcast this week. You can check it out right now wherever you get your podcast. New episode uploaded earlier today going into the finale. But we'll show you that interview with Kaylee McDonald. By the time that's over, both of these 6 o'clock games will be out of halftime, and the 7 o'clock games will just about be ready to start. With New Haven, Central Connecticut, and LIU Wagner. So all that's still to come as we put the final pieces of the puzzle together on how the seedings and pairings will shape out in the 2026 NEC Women's Basketball Tournament. That puzzle coming together here over the course of the evening.
They rolled a foul. Sophia Wilson picking up that.
Both teams have gone nearly 2 minutes in this game without scoring. It's been stuck on 23-18 for a good bit.
9 players have scored thus far for LeMoyne.
LeMoyne is led by as many as 8 points.
Can't finish. Second chance. Threw it too high. Pizzetti with the rebound.
Game that's featured 2 ties, 7 different lead changes.
Scored thus far for Mercy.
That was early, though, before LeMoyne created some separation
Who hasn't scored for LeMoyne.
earlier on here in the second quarter. But Mercyhurst trying to get back in it.
Wing Van Schaik spins it back for Stober.
Van Schaik has been a key part of it. Finally hit a 3-ball a few moments ago.
Live with the rebound. LeMoyne.
Van Schaik has 5 points. Walls has 7.
That pass.
And LeMoyne gonna throw it away.
That was in the back.
Did they went over the backcourt.
And the referee did not.
There was no call.
Bill's read.
That went into the backcourt. It's not going to matter because Mercyhurst gets the turnover anyway, but that should have been a backcourt violation.
CC Hernandez.
And Hernandez is going to get clotheslined on her way through the paint. Let's get another. That clearly in the backcourt. There was no deflection at all by a Mercyhurst player. The officials just missed one right there.
Coming back in is
So after the foul, CC Hernandez going to go to the free throw line. Now, we've seen her struggle in first halves before. The game that we did on ESPN Plus a couple weeks ago against Wagner struggled in the first half, then really exploded out of the locker room. A big second half run by Mercyhurst to win a huge game on Staten Island on the road. See if Hernandez can get some momentum going in the locker room. In that Wagner game, by the way, Hernandez had the eventual go-ahead 3 in that second half to help complete the comeback.
was animated at the Mercyhurst bench.
And that's thrown away. So Mercyhurst gets the free throws. They force a turnover. And now they'll have a chance to only down one possession here to maybe tie the game.
It's just been an off year.
Mercyhurst over their last 5 games averaging 72 points and holding opponents to 60. Their defense is doing the holding opponents to 60 part. Their offense has been a little sluggish to start. 3 for 15 shooting in the first quarter, 0 for 6 from behind the arc, 4 for 12 in the second quarter. But they have made 2 threes. They started 0 for 9 from behind the arc here in this game. After 15 threes the last time these two met. Bragas, she has 7 points. She tries to bully her way to the basket. Now there's about a 3-second differential in the 2 clocks. So JVS going to hold things up here and let the clock bleed.
7 points now for Bragas.
She's working on another game in double figures.
Get some movement here as we get to 10 seconds. Hall to Walls. Space was opened up thanks to a screen, and with 1 second on the shot clock, Walls hits her second triple. And that'll perhaps take some momentum into the locker room for Mercyhurst. They only trail by 2. LeMoyne, they need to win. They need Wagner to lose, and they can get the number 4 seed. Mercyhurst trying to win to get the number 2 seed and ensure themselves not just of a first-round home playoff game, but if they win, a second-round home playoff game as well. So both of our 6 o'clock games right now are at intermission. We are going to take a short break as well and show you our interview that we did with Kaylee McDonald as part of our NEC On the Run podcast this week. We talked to her before the game earlier today, in which she had 17 points against the Red Flash, 5 more threes to get over 93 balls on the season. And then when we come back, both games will be in the second half. And our 7 o'clock games will be right around the corner as well. Glad you could be along with us for whip-around coverage of the regular season finale of NEC Women's Basketball. This is the Full Court Press. Up next here on NEC Women's Basketball on the Run, it is time for our Commitment to Success Spotlight, and it's brought to you by Provident Bank. Commitment you could count on. Joining us today from the reigning and defending NEC champion, the regular season champion for the 4th time in the last 5 years, the record holders for the most consecutive league wins in history, and the number 1 seed in the upcoming NEC tournament, the FDU Knights. It's their sophomore guard, Kaylee McDonald. Kaylee, welcome to the Spotlight.
Thank you for having me.
You know, that's a lot of accomplishment. It seems like every time you guys take the court, there's something new that you're accomplishing. What has been the most special thing for you of this whole run the last 2 years that you've been a part of it?
Honestly, I think it's the relationships made with my teammates and with the coaches. You go through all like the wins and the losses together, and it's like coming into college, you don't really know what's going to happen, how the team's going to be, but it's just been really special being on this team and experiencing this with all the people around me.
Now, it's no surprise. Key to success: defense. Defense is number 1. How much pride does the team have in being up there at the national rankings and all the growth that the team has had on the court from November to now?
I think obviously Coach Gately instilled in us that defense is going to win our games. So from the very beginning, she has her standards, and we just all bought into the same thing, and we bring it every game. And we know that if the shots aren't going to fall, our defense is what we're going to have to fall back on, and that's basically just what we do.
Which is pretty good to fall back on that defense the way you guys play. Yeah. Last year I talked with Coach Gately, and she described you kind of as the Energizer Bunny, someone coming off the bench, giving that immediate shot of energy, pesky defense, hitting a 3 here and there, making the hustle plays. This year, though, your role has kind of changed in year 2. How would you kind of describe the role and how that's grown and how that's changed, and how did you kind of prepare for that coming into the year?
Yeah, last year I knew my role was just going to be like that burst of energy coming off the bench. This year, over the summer, I definitely had to work on like driving to the basket more. Obviously, I love playing defense, so that didn't change from last year. But I knew I would have to be playing a lot more. So it's just like stepping into more of a leader role, being on the court more, talking more, just being there for my teammates. Obviously, the shooting, I have more time on the court, so that just fell into place there. But yeah.
Well, the extra time on the court has led to 88 made threes and counting. Season's not over yet. Long way to go. Already, though, the single season FDU record, and in the NEC history, there have only been 9 individual seasons of players that got to 100 threes or more, and you're right around that corner. Only 6 players that have done that. So how special would it be to just, keep this going, get to 100 and even further than that with the three-point shooting?
Yeah, that would be really special. Honestly, I didn't know that I was going to hit that record, so knowing that now, it's definitely going to be a great accomplishment.
Now, I asked this to one of your former teammates, Abby C., a couple years ago, because she was an expert three-point shooter in her own right. What is the key to being a consistent three-point shooter in your mind?
It's definitely having a short-term mindset. Like, if I miss one shot, I can't think about it too much. I just have to move on and just think that the next shot is going in. So that's basically it.
The goldfish, right?
Right. The goldfish mindset, yeah.
Now, how let's kind of go back into your journey a little bit. How was it? When was it that you kind of fell in love with basketball and you knew that this was the game, this was the sport for you?
Yeah, so I grew up doing gymnastics. I did that for like 10 years, and I realized I didn't have much time for anything else, and I grew up playing basketball in the driveway with like all the boys in my neighborhood and stuff. And then one day I signed up for my school summer league, and ever since then, in 6th grade, I just played basketball, and I fell in love with it from there. I played every single day after school. I would get extra shots up after practice, and it's just been a grind ever since.
And how did you know that FDU was the right fit to come and join this team and this program?
Yeah. As soon as I spoke to Coach Gately and Coach Jess, I knew that this was a great fit for me. I love Coach Gately's coaching style. She's very tough on us, but she loves us, and you can tell in everything that she does for us. So the coaching staff was the biggest part in my recruitment process, I would say.
Now, you were fortunate that you had a similar run with the team last year, going to March and going to the NCAA tournament. So is there anything that you now, as one of those vocal leaders that you were talking about, that can relate to or draw upon your experience from last year to maybe help some of those younger players this year?
Yeah, I definitely think don't take it for granted. Last year, obviously, time went by so fast. Like, we were just like, oh, championship straight to March Madness. And it's almost like you're like in the moment, but it's just like so surreal. So I think just like this year, if we make it there, be in the moment and don't take anything for granted, because this is like a once in a lifetime opportunity.
And it's funny to say, I've always said that in March, 2 weeks feels like 2 days. Like one minute you're getting ready for the game, and then the game was a week ago. Did you kind of feel that last year going through that?
Yeah, definitely. Flying out like 2 days after the championship, it felt like it was over before he even started. So
So that's pretty good advice. I 100% agree with that. Let's talk about this, this week coming up, because there's still a regular season game to go before we get to the conference tournament, and it's an early rise game, 11 a.m. Is there any differences in your routine or your preparation for an 11 a.m. game versus you practiced, I'm sure, in the morning too. So is there anything different about getting up and getting ready to play a game at 11 a.m.?
Our shoot around is usually in the morning anyways, so I feel like we're already prepared in that sense. For me, I do the same thing every time there's a game. Nothing really special, but yeah, we'll be ready. So.
You were ready the last time you played SFU. It was a 45-point win, but that was 2 months ago. Now you're getting ready to play them really twice in a 5-day span. So what might be some of the challenges with, playing that regular season finale and then playing the same team just a couple days later when you get to the tournament? I would assume that it's tournament level every time you take the court, but what are some of those challenges from playing them 2 times so close together?
I think honestly, we just need to be in the right headspace, treat every game like we know we have the target on our back, and we just need to play hard and do what we need to do, honestly. For challenges, I think it's playing the exact same team twice in a row. It's kind of like okay, we know what they do, but we just need to like stay with our principles, make sure that we're playing each player to their like strengths and making sure that we're doing everything the way
Now,
we want.
Now, before we get to the final five, I have one more question that might be an impossible question to answer, but I'll let you kind of have at it. If somehow we suspended the rules of time and you guys, your present team, went back in time and you played last year's team, how do you think that? I'm not going to ask you who's going to win, but how do you think that matchup would go? Because obviously you're in a different role this year than last year, so there's different players, different teams. So how do you think the two teams would match up?
I think for having the same principles, I really feel like we have different players, and I don't know how we would match up, honestly. Like this year, I feel like we're more athletic this year. Last year, obviously, we had more experienced players. I think it would be a really good game.
I was going to say, there's a lot of people that pay some good money to see that.
Right. So I think we would have to play each other to see.
The good news is you would win either way because you're on both sides.
Right.
But let's get to the final five questions. These are quick hitters, so first thing that comes to your mind, just let it out, all right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, favorite color?
Pink.
Favorite karaoke song?
Mr. Brightside.
Ooh, really good one, okay. Favorite snack or junk food?
Gummy sharks.
Okay. It is Read Across America Week, celebrating reading this week. So what is your favorite book? Could be a present book or a book you enjoyed growing up.
Probably the Harry Potter series.
Okay. And last one, FDU will win the NEC title in 2026 if, finish the sentence.
If we play with our standards and we play defense.
All right. Sounds good. Kaylee, thank you so much for stopping by and joining us today, and best of luck to you and the Knights the rest of the season.
Thank you so much.
You can catch Kaylee and the Knights on Thursday morning, 11 a.m. on NEC Front Row. They try to close out a second straight perfect conference regular season against the St. Francis Red Flash. And then they'll be back on Monday, March 9th for the 7 p.m. quarterfinal round of the 2026 NEC Women's Basketball Tournament, once again hosting SFU. You can check out the full episode of the NEC Women's Basketball on the Run podcast. It's available now wherever you get your podcasts. And this has been the Commitment to Success Spotlight, brought to you by Provident Bank. Commitment you could count on. The FDU Knights won that game earlier today, 61-39. McDonald, a big part of it with 17 points and 5 3 balls. So we are not going to see FDU here tonight on our live whip around coverage of the regular season finale. FDU already had theirs at 11 a.m. this morning against St. Francis. They'll play the Red Flash again in the first round of the NEC tournament starting on Monday in the 1 versus 8 quarterfinal matchup. FDU, the unbeaten regular season champions, back-to-back regular season champions, fourth time in 5 years, back-to-back unbeaten seasons, a 16-0 season and a 17-0 season, a 37 consecutive game win streak in the regular season and conference play. FDU will take into 2027 next year. And they might be watching here tonight. So hi, FDU, if you're watching here tonight, to watching how the rest of the league is going to play out. 3 more quarterfinals to be set. Stonehill finished the first half on a 10-2 run over nearly the last 6 minutes against Chicago State. Stonehill win for Coach Brown.
8th turnover for the Cougars.
Lost some big-time senior leadership last year. Lost a lot of their scoring. New players having to step up in some big-time roles. Brooke Paquette. We mentioned this to her when we interviewed her earlier in the year. She had an incredible February, run last year, averaging, I believe, about 17 points per game. February through March into Stonehill's WNIT appearance. So we were wondering if February Brooke is going to show up. Well, she did. Now it's March Brooke Paquette. Paquette with 19 points in this game, 6 rebounds. Final home game of the season, most likely for Stonehill. I mean, the 7 seed could still theoretically host the 8 seed in the championship game, but most likely the last home game of the season. Senior night in Massachusetts. Seniors were honored prior to the start of this game. Amaya Dowdy, who came over from LIU, Paige Martin and Molly Lynch, who really didn't get a chance to see much time on the court this year due to injury, just as she was getting back. She got injured again, so she's been more of a veteran coach type role for this Stonehill team. She was honored prior to the start of the game as well.
Casey Urlacher back in now for Chicago State, trailing by 8. Skyhawks off to a slow start.
Tiana Allen, the senior for Chicago State, has 3 personal fouls. So Allen is off the floor right now. Allen, one of the leading scorers for the Cougars with 6 points. McGee and Cisco also have 6 points to lead the way for Chicago State. So again, this game is our only live game going on right now as we get close to the top of the hour. LeMoyne leads Mercyhurst 25-23 at halftime. They're getting ready to come out to start the second half. We'll get you to that game, but also our 7 o'clock games are just about ready to tip off. LIU at Wagner and New Haven at Central Connecticut. Now, New Haven, Central Connecticut, not much playoff implications. Those are the 2 teams that will not be participating in the NEC tournament. We'll still take a live look at that. Perhaps some NEC awards could be on the line in that game. So we'll take a close look at those 2 teams. And then, of course, LIU and Wagner. That's a game that a lot of the teams playing right now are going to have interest in. Chicago State obviously rooting against Wagner. Chicago State needs Wagner to lose. They need LeMoyne to lose in order for Chicago State to get the number 4 seed with the win. And then we mentioned LeMoyne. They need Wagner to lose as well. Mercyhurst needs LIU to lose. So they're actually, Mercyhurst, they're rooting for Wagner in that game. So, again, that game set to tip off in about 5 minutes or so. We will get our next live look in there. Should mention for LIU, their second leading scorer, Janessa Williams, not in the lineup again tonight. She did not play in the last game. She got hurt against Mercyhurst in the end of the first half, came back in the second half, finished the game, but we haven't seen her since. So that could be a big loss. We know LIU has been banged up here down the stretch. They're going to be without their second leading scorer here tonight, at least in the starting lineup. So we'll get a closer picture of that once we get to the LIU Wagner game. By the way, Wagner beat LIU earlier on in the season. This is the rematch, and a lot of playoff implications involved in that one.
Right now for the Skyhawks, having open looks, and there Webster takes it.
Webster doesn't get.
Wow, that went around the world and not in. Everywhere but the bottom of the cup.
McGee left open and knocks down a 3.
And there's Kiona McGee with the triple. She's now up to 9 points. Her first 3 ball. She has 9 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. She's had her hand in a little bit of everything, as she has really in this Chicago State run. This is a team that had lost 4 straight before they picked up a big win against Wagner on Saturday, 84-75. The Cougars 3-16 away from home this season. They're on the road and they're only down 5 to Stonehill here in the regular season finale.
Second timeout, so we'll keep it here with the Skyhawks leading by.
Second half just underway. Opening minute in Mercyhurst, 27-25. LeMoyne with the lead. Mercyhurst in white looking to take the lead with a triple, and they got it.
That's her 5th 3-pointer of the season.
Stover with the 3. You heard from the announcers, not your prime 3-point target, but we talked with Coach Bills Reed, and all the players, all of them have green lights. And more green lights than the St. Patrick's Day parade for Mercyhurst. You got a shot, you take it. And now a turnover.
Hernandez, a crossover in the lane.
Hernandez taking it right to the basket. She's up to 6 points.
From the outside, Hernandez inside.
Mercyhurst with a quick 5-0 run. They went from down 2 to now up 3.
And the question was
Their largest
the shot
lead
clock
of the
dropped
game.
Mercyhurst after that first half. Wangalo sends it inside. Postel with the lay-in.
Nice
off
drive,
the
Sydney
square.
Postel.
Nice play there by LeMoyne.
She's now up to 3. 3 points on the game. Here in the opening 2 minutes of the second half. Back and forth we go.
Circles.
Now a
Attacks.
1-point game, and
Draws the foul.
we got a foul, and that's going to be on Postel, it looks like. And if it is, that's number 3. So she just got her third point, second and third point here on this drive to the basket, and she just picked up her third foul on the defensive end. So Postel comes off the floor, and McLeod's going to come in. We'll send Jenna Van Schaik to the free throw line.
And Scheik will shoot a pair.
Postel's third, team foul number 1 here in the third. Jenna Van Schaik this season 80% at the line.
Coach Aaron Mills-Reed told us that Jenna Van Schaik is playing her best basketball right now on both ends, defending at a high level. Right at the start of conference play, she was coming off of an injury. Took her a while to kind of get back into the swing of things, but she's been phenomenal this last month or so of the season. Averaging over 15 points per game, well over 15 since the middle of January, so this last month and a half. And how about the offensive rebound off the miss by Sophia Wilson? Mercyhurst with the luxury of 2 great distributing guards who can also score. Jenna Van Schaik and Wilson, they can get their teammates involved. High assist numbers, 2 of the top assist artists in the NEC right now, but both can also score.
Pounding the ball inside, and that's rare for the Lakers, but with the 3 not working, I guess you're trying to start your offense back up inside out.
Lauren Stover, the senior,
Stover with her first chance at the line today.
played for our old friend Maria Marquezano at Purdue Fort Wayne before coming over to Mercyhurst.
Rattles out the second.
Rims out, but we got a foul going for the loose ball.
So now LeMoyne can't even get the rebounds.
Yeah, a little push right there, trying to angle for the loose ball. That was on McLeod, so McLeod's going to come out.
And a foul on the floor again.
And now LeMoyne commits a foul before we even inbound.
Overguarding. Mercyhurst trying to
All right, well, again, a game's just starting right now here at as we cross the 7 o'clock hour. We have Wagner and LIU. Opening minute there. We'll take you to that game next as soon as we get our next timeout here. And then the other game, New Haven Central Connecticut. That game just underway as well. 2 minutes in, both New Haven and Central Connecticut tied at 2. So Hall with the bucket, a chance for a 3-point play. Mercyhurst on a 5-0 run, a 10-2 run overall, going back to the the end of that first half where they got a bucket to make it that 1-possession game.
Starts the third on a 12-4 run. We get attendance, couldn't get it across.
Wow. So another turnover, everything going Mercyhurst's way right now. They're fighting for the 2 seed. They're in front. Let's go get our first live look-in at LIU and Wagner.
Take a break.
So here we go, 6-4, 2 minutes in. Wagner with the advantage. Again, LIU banged up, playing shorthanded, going up against a big physical team. Wagner has size, 6'4", 6'3". Coach Darrell Coburn telling us, hey, we recruit 6'4", 6'3" for a reason. And they're extremely physical. They play some very tough defense, very good on the boards with rebounding, one of the best in the NEC. And now you're playing an LIU team that's been banged up. They got off to that great start to the season, but it's been a tough road to get to the finish line. LIU trying to get to the number 2 seed, but to have any chance at a number 2 seed, they need to win here today. It is not going to be easy. They already lost once to Wagner earlier on in the season. KJ Foz playing some incredible basketball right now for the Seahawks. The sophomore guard put together back-to-back 20-plus point games last week. 20 points against New Haven, followed up with 22 against Chicago State in the loss. She's averaging just about 14 points per game in her last 6. Missed on the first free throw. Foz already with 4 of Wagner's 6 points here to get things started. She's turned into an offensive weapon. Foz was on the all-defensive team last year, and indeed she still is one of the better defenders in the league, but that offense is really spiked up here down the stretch. Now she has 5 out of Wagner's 7 as the Seahawks lead by 3. We talked about looking at potential nominees for awards in the NEC. Neil Harrow, the head coach for LIU, the turnaround that he's done obviously is going to be in the running for Coach of the Year. Khadijah Toure looking to become just the 3rd player to lead the league in both points and rebounds, along with Sticks, Dia Davis Thornton, and Sandra Cook for Monmouth back in the late 80s. Trying to make that final cherry on top of the Sunday case to solidify her as the player of the year, Toure. And again, she's going to be drawing a ton of attention tonight with LIU's number 2 scoring option apparently not available. Akridge and Humphrey, 2 really strong shooters in the starting lineup, though, for LIU. Now, that was Coach Harrow's strategy, bringing in an athletic player who could get up and down the court like Toure, but also surrounding her with shooters. Humphrey and Akridge, some of the best that they've got.
Fire in her eyes. As she rolls the first one in.
Jaron Doyen Sola, Moda Seor, we call her Doy. She makes the first free throw.
But coming on of late, she was 5 of 7 from the floor Saturday at Chicago.
And she makes the second.
Points. Makes both here, and it's back to a 3-point Wagner lead. Akridge.
Doy called a super athlete, mature, disciplined on offense this year for Coach Coburn.
Euro stepping to the hole. Doy's got the rebound. Great.
LIU coming up empty there. So far, the battle of the boards in this one, favor for Wagner, 6-5. Offensive rebound, second chance, no good. Finally pulled down by the Sharks. LIU 3 for 9 from the field to start the game. 0 for 3 from behind the arc.
4 minutes gone by.
Humphrey, Harrow calling her one of the best shooters that he's ever seen, and that's quite the compliment. And one of the best shooters in the country when he was an assistant at JMU. And that foul was on KJ Foz. That was her 6th. We were just talking about how great of an offensive weapon she's been. And now just past 6 minutes to go in the first quarter, she picks up her second foul and she's off the floor. So we'll see how Wagner adjusts here on the offensive end without one of their top point producers.
Wearing number 4, her twin sister is 44, Carmela. Toure spins in the
Toure just in front of the free throw line. Turnaround jumper. She's up to 4 points here to start things with 2 rebounds and an assist. Again, she draws an incredible amount of attention. That's something that she never had to deal with during her time with other programs, even earlier this season. But once she got into conference play, man, teams had the bullseye on her. She was fighting against the scouting report.
And then Toure swatted at it again, knocked it off her knee. Now Hawa, Bald Kamara checks in as Doy will take a seat with 5:29 left in the quarter.
So this one, in terms of playoff implications, LIU claims the number 2 seed with a win and a Mercyhurst loss. LIU's clearest path to the number 2 seed is a win here and a loss. Wagner, they control their own destiny for the number 4. If they win, they will be right back atop Grimes Hill on this very court for the quarterfinals on Monday.
Designated first sub spot.
Most likely hosting one of the other teams that are in the running for that number 4 seed, either LeMoyne or Chicago State.
At the line this season, 76.7% for a team that shoots about 73. Seahawks, conversely, bottom of the NEC in that department, under 63%. Torrey misses. Good crowd on hand, by the way, now with
Torrey, the 6'2 junior, close to 19 points, 10 rebounds. We mentioned she's leading the league in both of those categories. She makes the second free throw, and we're knotted up at 9 points apiece.
Freshman twin, they hail from Portland, Oregon.
So no fouls. She's off with 2 fouls. Wagner trying to hang in there with LIU.
Got our first tie. Inside for Irene, who flips it too hard.
LIU is not led in this game. We have our third tie.
No foul. But it will be Wagner ball with 18 to shoot.
And we're going to get a tie up there with 5:06 to go. Wagner will keep the possession.
Hands to clear. KK inside Hawa. Kick out P. Varela for 3.
From the corner, Varela off the mark.
By Wiley.
And now LIU with a chance to go down and take their first lead of the game here.
Layla Nunez for Acreage. This is Carmela Nunez.
Working the perimeter.
Midway through
Both
the
Nunez
shot clock.
sisters on the court right now. Baseline jumper, no good.
Out grab by IFC. She pulled it away from
Rebounded underneath. Long pass up head. 2-on-1. Wagner taking advantage of their numbers, drawing the contact and the foul.
Looking right down.
Carmela Nunez going to be called for it. That's her first personal.
Varela finally gets
And it was a hard hit.
9 left, first quarter. Malia
We'll step aside. This game tied at 9. Off to our next stop here on the NEC Full Court Press Women's Basketball Regular Season Finale.
Monday.
Miss.
And now we have our first looking at the 4th game going on right now. Central Connecticut, New Haven. Neither of these two teams going to the NEC tournament. New Haven would be, if they were eligible. They're right now 8th in the standings, so they would be the number 8 seed, but they are ineligible. Their first year in Division I going through the transition. Nice turnover right there. We talked about LIU being a little shorthanded. New Haven has been a little banged up down the stretch. They're a team that trying to get some positive momentum going into the offseason here. They've lost 7 in a row. Central Connecticut only 1 win on the season.
As we were talking, Central
Connecticut 1 in 27. Their lone victory came against Chicago State
Shooting here is Caitlin Simpson.
a couple of weeks ago. They're trying to finish with a win. They just fell behind SFU after falling to St. Francis last weekend, just on the outside looking in for that final playoff spot. But man, have they gotten some great performances. Kaya Lewis, big numbers, 21 points against Mercyhurst last week, and then 36 points, 11 rebounds against the Red Flash.
In 3-point percentage.
Now, ultimately, all those points resulted in 2 Blue Devil losses, but Kyle Lewis trying to make a name, get herself in all-conference consideration. And then Anaya McDonald-Perry, AMP for New Haven. She's been jack of all trades, scoring, which has been a new asset in her game this year. Rebounding, steals, one of the best in the league. Blocks, she's up there too. So she could be a player in the running to be amongst the top in the league in our all-conference teams when they're announced coming up on Monday.
New Haven will shoot 2. Back to the line is Simpson. Takes her first shot, and it is good. That is really the worst.
We mentioned this last weekend when we did our broadcast for the New Haven LeMoyne game.
Turnover margin. They have
New Haven rooting for LeMoyne to complete their application for fast track in 3 years transition. They're rooting for that to go through. LeMoyne has applied to complete their transition a year early. If it is accepted by the NCAA, LeMoyne would be fully eligible next year, and then New Haven could get into next year's NEC tournament.
Kicks down into the corner. Working inside. This is knocked away. Central ball.
Knocked away. Central will keep it with about a minute to go in the first quarter.
In the first quarter. 13 seconds on the shot clock. Pearson will take the inbound.
Kaya Lewis continuing with 8 points. Lindsey Hogan, the newest member of the New Haven 1,000-point club. She has 9 points to lead the way.
60 seconds to go, first quarter. Simpson down the floor, looking to Innocent. Merritt Innocent backing down a defender. The layup is good.
Hasn't been home in about 7 years.
Merritt Innocent stands 6'2", the junior from Delta State, Nigeria.
Yeah, from Nigeria. She's been in the States, high school, now college. Trying to live the dream as a student athlete playing hoops.
Here's Maddie Toure.
Some great stories that you only get
from Stockholm, Sweden.
with these wonderful student athletes in NEC women's basketball, especially you hear a lot of it this time of year. We are in March, the road to the 2026 NEC Women's Basketball Championship, no doubt off and running.
Looking a little deeper
getting ready to hit the most important part of the journey, the NEC tournament right around the corner. Central trying to extend their lead going into the second quarter with a 1-point lead, 10 seconds to go.
All 9 points had belonged to Lindsey Hogan.
LeMoyne has had some high-scoring games too here in the last 2 weeks, but only 2 points in this first quarter tonight.
Caitlin Simpson going to points.
Oh, stolen away! You cannot be that lackadaisical, and the layup was missed.
On a wide-open layup. Noyne comes back down the
wide open and off the fingertips. Oh, my goodness.
A pair of blunders at the opposite baselines. Jasmine McKay came down to a wide open layup. She'll heave one at the buzzer. It's no good. A missed wide open layup by McKay. Torre can't handle the pass at the baseline.
Not going to say it. Not going to say it. 15-14 Central Connecticut on top of New Haven. And we'll keep our eyes on this. But again, no playoff implications here. So let's take you through some of the other games going on right now as we clear up the playoff picture.
Strong she is.
All right, it's been a while since we checked in at Mercyhurst. The Lakers burst out into the second half. 27 points. They only had 23 at halftime in 2 quarters. They have 27 here in this 1 quarter. They are 9 for 10 from the field. 9 for 10.
LeMoyne down by 7.
Have LeMoyne in a 7-point hole. Mercyhurst is led by as many as 8. Mercyhurst with a win could very much set themselves up to be the number 2 seed. And we have a foul on a 3-pointer.
A 4-point play.
Sierra Lennon with a chance at a 4-point play. Who's that? It looked like that's CC Hernandez. That got in there.
Just put an elbow into her, but it was well late. I believe the refs are going to have a talk about this. It wasn't like Hernandez didn't allow her.
Again, 2 teams with a lot at stake, not just in this game against each other, but both teams keeping an eye on that Wagner LIU game. LeMoyne keeping their eye on Chicago State, Stonehill as well.
Watch this. Just to wait. Maybe a little bit of a
embellishment.
Yeah, embellishment.
All right, while they check the monitor, let's see if we can check in with Stonehill, Chicago State, and get an update from Massachusetts. Okay, start of the fourth quarter at Mercyhurst Gym. 53-44.
Pass deflected.
Again, Stonehill looking to finish at 8-10 in conference play. They are locked in as the number 7 seed. They cannot improve their seeding for this upcoming NEC tournament. But they could certainly take some momentum with the victory, and a win over Chicago State would deny Chicago State any opportunity of a top 4 spot. The Cougars would have to settle for a 5 or a 6 seed.
Urlacher, Gant inside the arc.
McGee has led the way in scoring for Chicago State with 14. Allen was one of their top scorers early on, but she had to miss some time in the middle of the game with foul trouble, so her rhythm kind of got stalled.
Paquette straight away.
Right now, the turning point in this game was a 20-8 second quarter in favor of Stonehill. Skyhawks have led by as many as 12.
Now Gant on the cut and around the rim and in.
Around the world and in. That way we were just talking about Allen. There you go. A steal on the inbounds by McGee. Short.
That one was McGee.
We've seen it now in a couple of these games. You have to have your head on a swivel. This is March. This is playoff time. Everybody trying to make those little plays that could end up being big. Brooke Paquette continues her tear. Brooke Paquette up to 26 points. You just heard them say tying her career high.
Back in January.
She finished last year, February, March, 17 points per game average in the stretch run. She's putting up the points again this year. Again, no Swider, no Sharon Hayward. Last year, Brooke Paquette was the number 3 option, and she was a pretty good number 3 option. But now she's the number 1 scorer. Teams are targeting her, looking at her differently. She's had to adjust her game this year based on how teams have defended her. Seems like she may have figured something out here in late February into March.
Back outside, a high arcing 3 as well.
Off the mark on the 3 ball.
Rissy Smith with the offensive rebound.
Yeah, nice job.
Second chance opportunity from the corner.
Fire it up anyway,
that was Smith just as the shot clock was expiring.
Up above, and that will turn the ball over to Chicago State.
All right, so 57-48 Stonehill. Things in hand at the moment. If it gets close, we'll come back. But right now, let's continue our tour around the NEC. LIU has come back to take the lead late first quarter, trying to extend it on a 3, and we have another foul on the shot with 19 seconds to go.
They call it a 2, beg your pardon. No, it is a foul on 2. It is a 3-shot foul. There we go.
Toure, 7 points, 3 rebounds, missed double-double, off to a pretty solid start here in the first 10 minutes.
Teniedo returns as well. Humphrey at the line this season, 75.5%.
First free throw for Humphrey. It goes through. Got the friendly roll. Humphrey, the grad student from Texas. Coach Shaw saw her pure jump shot on film. Wanted to bring her in, said it was the best pure jump shot he's seen. And we mentioned wanting to surround Toure with a bunch of shooters. That strategy seemed to pay off this year for LIU. Sharks, the number 1 scoring offense in the NEC, 70 points per game. Wagner, the number 2 scoring defense in the NEC, behind FDU, up there, top nationally ranked. Wagner, 59 points per game they allow.
McKay had it partially blocked.
Partially deflected, but right to a teammate.
Good.
Seconds winding down, pinballed around, controlled by LIU, and they will take a 4-point lead into the second quarter. 22-18 LIU looking to keep themselves in the mix for that number 2 seed in the NEC.
Annoying.
All right, Central Connecticut and New Haven, the Chargers have charged their way back into it.
Trying to get back on the board. Lewis, another and one. That's her third. And a chance at a three-point
Kaya Lewis
play
has
for Kaya
been
Lewis.
fun to watch. We mentioned the big numbers that she put up last week,
Lindsey Hogan
and
will get
continuing it
booked for
again
her
all the
first
way
foul.
down to the finish. And this is what, when we talked with Coach
Central
Caruso
looking
earlier in the
to
season,
win
she admired the
tonight.
most
This is definitive.
about her team. You know, she's like, we've been close. We've been very close. We've had games where we've done a lot of good things. The problem is we haven't done all those things well in the same game all year up to that point. They did beat Chicago State a little while later to get their first victory of the season, but
Playing against Wagner in the quarterfinal, getting upset.
you know, they're a team that'll fight. They battle. They haven't given up on the season, and Kaya Lewis certainly putting out some good tape here towards the very end, looking to only increase her stock in the all-conference honors that are going to be coming out. Partially blocked, but it goes right to New Haven, who takes it right to the basket. McDonald Perry
commanding the ball.
now has 4.
Noyne fouled on
Noyne
her way
fouled
up.
on her way to the basket. So they're approaching the middle of the second quarter, media timeout. It's a 4-point lead for the Chargers. We'll keep our eye on this one as we continue our season finale, regular season finale coverage.
With her second three-pointer.
Just as we were coming back, Cece Hernandez moments ago hit her second 3, extends the lead. LeMoyne comes right back and answers. This has been a fun one. Back and forth we go, and it's a 2-point game. So Hernandez hits the 3. Caden Clark answers right back here on this bucket. 8:33 to go, 53-51. A lot of playoff implications swirling in Mercyhurst right now in Erie, Pennsylvania. Okay, no games actually in action right now. LIU and Wagner are just taking the court, so we'll give them a couple seconds here to get out and get ready as we start. 4 games presently going on. You have Chicago State, Stonehill, middle of the fourth quarter. LeMoyne and Mercyhurst early in the fourth quarter. And the games that just started at 7 o'clock, New Haven, Central Connecticut State, and this game are in the second quarter. 1 game gone final earlier today. FDU beating St. Francis 61-39. No real playoff implications in that game, but implications from a historical perspective as FDU wins their 37th straight regular season conference game and finishes unbeaten in the conference regular season for a second straight year. Now, the Monmouth Hawks did that back-to-back unbeaten regular seasons, although it were 2 16-0 seasons, not a 16-0 and 18-0 season. But the Monmouth Hawks had back-to-back seasons. They won the championship the first year, but they lost in the conference tournament championship the second year. So although FDU back-to-back undefeated seasons, that sounds great. 5th longest active win streak right now in the country, sounds great. No doubt Coach Gately, I'm sure, is telling her team there's still work to do. Conference championship begins on Monday. Perhaps one of these teams could be in FDU's future. LIU gave FDU their biggest challenge this year, a 1-point game in Brooklyn. After LIU got off to a 5-0 start, both teams were unbeaten at the time, and Ava Redinger had a bucket right at the end of the game to keep the streak going for the Knights. And then right after that game, LIU, after suffering their first loss, they kind of stumbled back a step as they immediately came back and they lost to Wagner.
Difference with her in the game. Take a seat. Morella and IFC back in as Foz misses the first. She's 3 for 5.
Foz had to miss about 5 minutes in that first quarter because of picking up 2 fouls. She got off to a great start on offense, but that was stalled by the foul trouble.
Guarding Acreage. Torre back to Acreage. Now on the move.
Torre, a little catch and shoot. A jumper from the left side. She's up to 9 points with 3 rebounds. 26-20, LIU in front.
LIU up 6, largest lead tonight.
LIU could get the 2 seed with a win and a Mercyhurst loss.
Moving screen on Doy.
Also, there's tiebreaker scenarios, which LIU and Mercyhurst could all be tied up. It could go all the way to the net rankings. At the moment, LIU had the advantage over Mercyhurst in the net rankings.
Side of the Spiro Center, though, at the moment. 4:12 to go in the fourth. Stonehill up 62-52. 7:50 to go. Mercyhurst up 57.
Our announcer's giving us some of the out-of-town scores that we've been taking you to and keeping you updated on. All right, so 8:37 to go. Let's continue our coverage. Moving on to some of our games in the fourth quarter right now. (57-51) early fourth quarter. Mercyhurst with the advantage over the LeMoyne Dolphins.
Also, the Lakers lost the ball.
LeMoyne, if Wagner loses to LIU, would be the next team up. They could get into the number 4 seed with a victory. And the Wagner loss.
Trying to wrap up the season on a high note. Baragas.
They get Baragas a touch every single time down the court. Can't convert from point-blank range. Second chance opportunity.
Wangalo sets up in the corner. Caden Clark to Eli Clark. Serpentines. Right hand hook.
Fell off the front iron. Put back. How many chances is LIU going to get? Now, Mercyhurst is well aware size is not one of their things. They do not have the size that some of the other teams in the NEC have. So they make up for that size in other ways. They make up for that with their shooting. They make up with it by pressing. See an example there, denying the inbounds.
Change the angle on the inbounds. Now
they change up their defenses a little bit. Coach Mills Reed telling us a couple of weeks ago that we know that if we play our style of defense for 40 minutes, we know that we're going to get an opportunity that's going to present itself. We just don't know when it's going to come. The game against Wagner, it came in that fourth quarter, allowed them to pull out the win.
Not what you want to see in foul trouble if you're the Lakers. You want her.
Well, let's see about tonight.
Worry about a thing.
Walls just picked up her 4th foul with 6:42 to go. So the Mass Bandit is going to come off and get a little rest here, most likely until the under 5 media timeout.
Baragas swings one for Eli Clark at the edge of the M.
Eli Clark, who an all-rookie team member last year. She was on the preseason all-conference team this year. Coach Nick DePilla saying that she's been a victim of the scouting report a little bit, teams keying in on her. This year is one of the featured players on the LeMoyne roster. Not quite putting up the numbers that she did a year ago as a freshman.
Looking for Baragas, finds it somehow, and she still couldn't finish.
It is not going in for LeMoyne right now.
6 tries at that basket before getting it in.
4 minutes played in the fourth.
Yeah, 4 minutes into this fourth quarter, LeMoyne 2 for 10 from the field, and probably all eight of those misses happened on that last trip down the court. But that one's not going to fall. Both teams now over 2 minutes since their last points. Ashley Baragas had 17 points, 12 rebounds, was our player of the game in LeMoyne's victory over New Haven. It was senior day for LeMoyne over the weekend, their final regular season home game. Hoping to get another home game, though, in the NEC tournament. Baragas with 13 and 12 as we approach halfway through the fourth quarter. Another double-double.
Still looking for an angle to pass.
Trouble getting out of it. They got numbers driving to the basket, and Baragas lays it in.
Talk about getting out of a quandary.
Well, if you have 5 defenders on you and you're able to get out of it, that means there's no defenders preventing you from getting to the basket. And that's kind of what happened on that last sequence. So Mercyhurst scoreless now in about 3 minutes.
Right-hander. Oh, it spinned off the rim.
LeMoyne ended the scoreless drought, but Mercyhurst not able to. They'll have a chance here on some free throws.
McLeod, I think, just picked up her 4th personal foul.
Yeah, that was number 4 on McLeod. CC Hernandez to the stripe. Hernandez, the leading scorer for all teams, just picked up number 14. Mercyhurst again,
Yes, it is the 4th.
just like they did in that Wagner game we broadcasted a couple weeks ago. Winning this game at the moment at the free throw line. As Hernandez makes both free throws, Mercyhurst 16 for 19 right now. They have 19 free throw attempts. They've made 16 of them. LeMoyne 11 for 14 from the charity stripe.
For a chance at the 2nd seed. Wangalo. Side to side with the
Wangalo cross-court pass. Open look, no good on the 3. It's tipped into the corner. Couldn't quite see it from that camera angle. And it'll stay with LeMoyne. New shot clock, 20 seconds.
Plus 10 advantage for LeMoyne, 31-21.
We talked about rebounding on the pregame.
That will always be something that the Lakers will need to improve if they want to go far in the NEC tournament next week. Wangalo on the right wing.
Wangalo driving the baseline, path cut off. 4 down to 3. Long 3 ball, it rims out. And it stays 59-53. So 4 minutes to go in this one. Right now, let's take you back to Stonehill and Chicago State as that game is in its final moments. Okay, we're about to get our first final of the evening. We got the FDU win earlier today, but right now with 45.9 seconds to go, Stonehill leads Chicago State 67-59. Brooke Paquette, a new career high with 29 points in this game, fresh off her 1,000th point a week ago. She has a new career high today, 5 3 balls. In her 64th consecutive start for this team. That one is thrown away, tipped out of bounds. It'll go to the Cougars. 43 seconds to go. Paquette joined in double figure scoring by Dowdy on her senior night. 14 points, 5 rebounds, a couple of blocks. Pelletier with 11 points, 14 rebounds, a double-double for the freshman. And then McGee, who had a pair of 19-point games last week, 20 points today, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 steals. But it looks like Chicago State is going to come up empty. So the Cougars, their chance to have a home playoff game on the south side looks like it's going to come to an end. With this loss, they will not be able to get up to a 4 seed. The 5 and the 6 seed is still in play. Stonehill locked in at the number 7.
Sprinting ahead to get back.
Her first block, but she's got 13 rebounds.
Pelletier with
15 seconds.
all those rebounds, the points. She gets a block onto this as well. Maybe her best defensive performance of the season. Chicago State on a 6-0 run here. Down 6 points. They foul with 6 seconds to go.
So Rissy Smith.
Again, the difference in this game was a 20-8 second quarter in which Stonehill pulled away going into the halftime, and they've been able to maintain that throughout this second half. And if they can make their free throws here, Stonehill will finish the regular season at 8-10 in the NEC. 1 year after appearing in the NEC championship game and going to the WNIT.
Monday in the NEC quarterfinals, again, either LIU or Mercyhurst, depending on outcomes of games tonight.
Yeah, so Stonehill will play whoever the number 2 seed is. Right now it's looking like it could be Mercyhurst.
2 seconds left. Trailing by 8. What does Trish Brown like and not like about tonight?
We should mention that with this Chicago State loss, that would take out the possibility of Chicago State getting involved in a tie that forces the LIU Mercyhurst potential tie to go all the way to the net ranking. So it looks like Chicago State's loss here is going to save us all of having to wait around for the net rankings. So by the end of the night, we should be able to determine either way, whether it's LIU or whether it's Mercyhurst.
It's nice to see such a competitive team.
Mercyhurst, with this Chicago State loss, would have the ball in their court. They would control their own fate. Mercyhurst would get the number 2 seed with a win or an LIU loss.
Gant, 3 is off the mark.
3 ball, no good. So Stonehill finishes the regular season at 8-10. Brooke Paquette, a new career high with 29 points. Chicago State will be a 5 or a 6, and we won't have to go to the net rankings to break a potential tie between LIU and Mercyhurst. So all that decided from this one game, our first final here on the night. Right now, let's take you to other action here on the NEC Full Court Press. Our NEC season finale and women's basketball coverage continues. All right, so we mentioned Mercyhurst 63-56. With that victory, one on the shot clock. Oh my gosh, that was from the parking lot. The cherry on top of the sundae on that 3 ball.
Very well be the dagger.
Yeah, that's the dagger. Sophia Wilson chucking it up there with the shot clock winding down. And now 1 minute to go. It's a 10-point game.
1 minute remaining in the 4.
Lennon, she could shoot it, and she makes it. So they answer right back.
By Sierra Lennon, a senior from Valley Cottage, New York. Big time.
Get to see this. Lake Erie has nothing on this one. Off the square. Bank is open. Convenient banking hours. 56.8 seconds remaining in the 4th.
If Mercyhurst wins this game, if this final score holds up here in the final 56.8, judging by our handy-dandy tiebreaker scenario chart that we've been covering all the action with, it appears that our field will be locked in regardless of what happens in the second half of all these games that started at 7 Eastern. It appears that everything would be locked in. Mercyhurst would clinch the number 2 seed with a win, which would lock LIU into the number 3 seed. Wagner would be the number 4 seed because of the LeMoyne loss. Wagner would be the 4, LeMoyne would be the 6, Chicago State, LeMoyne would be the 5, Chicago State would be the 6, and we already mentioned Stonehill and St. Francis are the 7 and 8 respectively. So if this final score holds up, it takes a little bit out of the drama the rest of the evening, but we would have our playoff field, well, we already have the field set, but we would have the seedings and the pairing set. We would know all 4 quarterfinal matchup. So just to make it official, with the other games going on approaching halftime, we will keep it here and we will see how this game finishes up. There's about a minute 40 to play. LIU leading Wagner 39-26, and New Haven Central Connecticut at the half with Central Connecticut on top 33-26. So we'll keep our eye on that games, and you will see those games until both games go final. We're here until the entire regular season comes to a close, the final buzzer of the final game. We're going to be taking you through all the action here tonight. But this game, 55 seconds away, we are from locking up the entire quarterfinal playoff picture.
Perfect 6 for 6 so far.
That drew the ire of Coach DePillo of LeMoyne with under a minute to go. There's Coach DePillo, and you also saw Coach Manchell behind him in the stands. Hope they haven't iced CC here with this delay before shooting.
Well, the first one's off.
CC Hernandez, an 87% free throw shooter on the season.
Still in effect here. 0 for 1 on the first. And the second. Well,
and she missed both.
Missed 2 in a game all season.
What an offensive rebound. They're going to put her right back on the foul line.
So she missed 2 free throws, and now they send her right back. The best LeMoyne can do is foul right here.
Doing yeoman work on the glass.
There you get to see James Thomas, who recognized himself on the board. I can't see the scoreboard right there.
And the Mercyhurst men's basketball team had themselves an evening as part of our full court press coverage last night. Mercyhurst coming up with a quarterfinal win, their men's team against FDU, and Mercyhurst will now host a semifinal. So Hernandez misses 2 free throws, comes right back, makes 2 free throws. It's 68-59. Dincher gets it from the baseline, and we'll get a timeout. 44 seconds to go, 7-point lead. So Mercyhurst wins. They clinch the number 2 seed. LeMoyne wins, or LeMoyne loses. It clinches the 4 seed for Wagner, regardless of what happens in that LIU Wagner game. So LIU and Wagner would be locked into their playoff spots before they come out to start the second half.
Take a look around the NEC real quickly.
In this game, you have Mercyhurst shooting at 44%, as is LeMoyne. Both teams performing pretty well shooting percentage-wise. Both teams have made 6 threes in this one. Rebounding margin in favor of LeMoyne, which we figured, 34-26. They certainly have the size advantage. But 20 turnovers. We talked about all those turnovers in that second and third quarter. They piled up, and that's when Mercyhurst took back the lead, and they really haven't given it up since.
Van Schaik was triple teamed.
15 points off 20 LeMoyne turnovers for the Lakers. CC Hernandez, 17 points. Walls with 10 points. Hall with 11 points. And Jenna Van Schaik with 16 to lead the way. Talked about LeMoyne going about 9-10 players deep. Mercyhurst has only played 7 players in this game. They're starting 5, and Fuzetti and Stover coming off the bench.
Swifter. Here's Van Schaik. 6 of 8 tonight.
Baragas with a double-double, 13 and 12. Lennon with 12 points. Dincher with 11. 3 double-digit scorers for the Dolphins.
I swear you could hear a pin drop. Let me try that.
Want a pen? You can make a pen drop. How about that?
Yep, I heard it.
Yeah.
That was a funny bit, making pens drop. It's so quiet. That's pretty neat. All right, so Jenna Van Schaik hits both free throws. She's now up to 17, tying CC Hernandez for the lead. Quick bucket for the Dolphins, and that's their only hope right now. They have to move quick. They have to foul. They have to hope for missed free throws as time's starting to run out. Clark, that'll be her 4th foul. And it'll send CC Hernandez back to the free throw line. She was fouled off ball.
So 29 and a half seconds remaining, and CC Hernandez 8 for 10 tonight will add to her total. Van Schaik and her both have identical 8 for 10 splits at the line. She hits the first.
CC Hernandez, the sophomore from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, who committed to Mercyhurst before her senior year of high school. While the team was still Division II, she was already signed. The team jumped to D1. That was kind of a bonus, a cherry on top of the sundae. She feels incredibly comfortable. Coach says she's a hard worker. They need her to attack the rim more. We've seen that a little bit in the second half of the conference season as Mercyhurst's been playing teams second time around. She's added that dimension to her game. Some really nice low post moves.
42nd personal foul called in this game.
All with her second. And fouls have been in abundance, especially in the second
So
half.
our 2 other games right now that start at 7 o'clock are both at halftime. 33-26 Central Connecticut over New Haven, and 40-28 LIU over Wagner. That game is about to be somewhat meaningless in terms of playoff implications if Mercyhurst can hold on here in these final 14 seconds. 3-ball hit by Peyton Dincher. She now has 14 points after this 3-ball. That's the 7th 3 for LeMoyne, who statistically is towards the bottom of the league in three-point shooting, but they get a big 3-ball there. They're down 2 possessions.
Make it 14 with that triple. They just updated.
So even though LeMoyne looks like they're going to be headed to Wagner for a 4-5 matchup, don't count out the LeMoyne Dolphins. This is a team that last year started, 0-15, 0-16, whatever it was. They still came back first year under Coach DePillo and won a tournament game at St. Francis, and one of the toughest places historically to win a playoff game in the NEC, and then got to a semifinal. The year prior to that with Mary Grimes, they not only got to a semifinal their first year in the tournament, but they actually won, and they got to the championship game. So this is a LeMoyne team getting to the NEC tournament, have won at least one game each of their 2 appearances. And they could be very well ready to win a tournament game again this year. Again, it looks like they will be going to Wagner next Monday night.
I'm sure they work on these types of inbounds plays.
Doubled. Hernandez somehow finds a way to Van Schaik.
By the way, LeMoyne and Wagner have split their season series, each team winning at home. So final score, Mercyhurst beats LeMoyne 72-66. They clinch the number 2 seed. LeMoyne is in at the 5 seed, and that solidifies the other 2 seeds as well. LIU as the 3, and Wagner in as the 4. So our seedings and pairings are set, but there are still 2 more games going on right now to wrap up the regular season. So we will bring to you here on the Full Court Press the entirety of both of those games. We will go back and forth, whip around coverage until the final buzzer of the final game. And we'll have a chance to kind of dissect and give a little playoff preview. And now that we know all the quarterfinal matchups, we can kind of talk about what we're going to see when the quarterfinals get going on Monday night. Mercyhurst, what a season. A team that started 1-2 in conference play. They've now won 13 out of their last 15 games, and they're going to be going into the NEC tournament. Incredible. So, well done there by Mercyhurst, 72-66. We'll step aside other games at the half, but as soon as they get going in the second half, we will bring that to you. So keep it right here on the NEC Full Court Press in the regular season finale.
69-61 now.
Second half.
All right, they're out of the locker room in New Britain, Central Connecticut, and New Haven, 37-29. CCSU in front. They've increased that momentum. 15 points for Lewis and LeMoyne. LeMoyne has really come on here to start this second half. Central in the white, LeMoyne, or New Haven rather, in the blue.
Lewis inside
There's
along
Lewis
the baseline.
again running the
She'll score.
baseline to increase it now to a 10-point advantage.
10-point ball game, Central in the lead. 7 minutes to go in the third. Hogan. Here's a three with a bit of a screen in front. Addison Sulikowski, it takes her.
Sulikowski, one of the best
bit more than
three-point
half the
threats
game, but she
for New
will get
Haven.
on the board, and it will be a three-pointer.
The Chargers only 3 for 13 from behind the arc in this game.
Ramos. Over to Pearson. Pearson looking. Lewis to Noyne.
Oh, LeMoyne, is that going to be an offensive foul? It is.
Right through Jasmine McKay.
Yeah, Jazzy McKay getting in there. LeMoyne kind of leaned in with the charge right with the shoulder there while McKay was planted.
Your first of the ball
Appeared to
game.
be a good call.
Second of
So
the half.
Central got it up to 10. New Haven
So here is Jasmine
made the
McKay.
big bucket by Hogan. Get it back to
Over
single
to
digits. They got the
Donald
turnover on the charge, and
To
now a
Hogan.
chance to
Back to McKay.
take it right back
Down the wing.
and get even closer.
Ramos pressing Granum at the top of the arc.
Running the
And
baseline,
Lily Sulikowski getting a
Sulikowski.
great feed in the key.
Great fundamental
And she
basketball
will
right there.
score.
So in the blink of an eye,
Ramos with
they've
the
cut
ball.
the
We will
deficit
get
in half.
A timeout called by Central. Will be a 30-second timeout into a media. And so as we get our first break of the third quarter, it is 39-34. Central in the lead. We'll be
All
back
right,
in a
they
moment.
are still at halftime in the Wagner LIU game, so we'll step aside for a moment and bring it back after this 30-second timeout into the media in New Britain.
Hi again, everybody. I'm Paul Dottino with the NEC Notebook, delivered to you by WB Mason. LIU captured the men's regular season title for the first time since 2012. Their sixth trophy prompted former NBA star Rod Strickland to be named the Jim Phelan Coach of the Year. He guided all NEC picks Malachi Davis and Jamal Fuller, as well as Defensive Player of the Year Greg Gordon. Central Connecticut's Darren Smith Jr. is the NEC Player of the Year and joined on the first team by LeMoyne's Shiloh Jackson and Bernie Blunt of Mercyhurst. FDU's David Yevtich is the NEC Rookie of the Year, and Central's Max Frazier was named the Most Improved Player. The NEC Final and automatic NCAA bid will air Tuesday, March 10th on ESPN2 at the highest remaining seed. Tip-off is at 7 p.m. Catch all conference action on NECFrontRow.com. And don't forget to follow the entire tournament on X at NEC Sports or on the web at NECSports.com.
It's time to take a look at the NEC Fast 5, the top 5 plays from the past week in NEC sports. Number 5. Stonehill's Grace Murphy freezes her defender with a shot fake, then blows past for the goal.
And Stonehill strikes.
Number 4. Game on the line, Joel McCormick walks it off for Robert Morris in overtime at Hobart.
Pass left, shot, score. Joel McCormick ends it.
Number 3. Central Connecticut's Jay Rogers splits 2 defenders and kisses it high off glass for the tough finish.
He drives, scoops it up and good.
Number 2. Wagner's Clea Casey delivers one of the plays of the year in NEC women's basketball. Behind the back to set up the reverse layup.
Are you kidding me? That was a highlight right there.
Number 1. 1 alley-oop is nice, 2 is even better, as LIU's Greg Gordon throws down a pair in this electric sequence.
Leading by 5, alley-oop!
There you have it. Those are your top 5 plays from the past week in NEC sports.
All right, they're back off the timeout. New Britain, Noyne going to the free throw line. New Haven a quick 5-0 run to cut the deficit in half. We had a timeout. Central right back to it. Noyne got fouled. She goes to the line, makes the first and the second.
Both here, and it is.
And it's 41-34.
A 41-34 ball game.
About halfway through the third quarter. Central Connecticut 7 for 9 from the charity stripe. So again, our quarterfinals are set. Only 2 more games in the regular season before we can start to turn the page to the NEC tournament and the postseason. This game going on right now, and then the LIU Wagner game in Staten Island that is just about ready to start the third quarter. We'll get you there as soon as they're back to live action. Meanwhile, as we mentioned, the seedings and pairings have been set based on the 3 finals that we have so far in the NEC today. Earlier this afternoon / morning, FDU with a 61-39 win against their first-round opponent come Monday, St. Francis. 61-39, FDU wins their 27th game of the season, 18-0. The regular season champions, the number 1 seed. St. Francis, 3-26, 3-15 in conference play. They will be the number 8 seed. And then our 6 o'clock window. We had Stonehill over Chicago State, 69-61, behind 29 points, a new career high for Brooke Paquette. And then Mercyhurst, 72-66 winners over LeMoyne. And that is the game that, along with the Chicago State loss, that is the game that solidified the playoff picture. With Mercyhurst's victory, Mercyhurst clinches the 2, which puts LIU settled into the number 3. It also clinches the 4 for Wagner, which has LeMoyne settled into the 5 and Chicago State at the 6. Stonehill was already in at 7. So we will get into those quarterfinal matchups now that we know the seedings and pairings as our coverage here on the NEC Full Court Press regular season finale in women's basketball rolls on.
It's time to take a look at the NEC Fast 5, the top 5 plays from the past week in NEC sports. Number 5. Stonehill's Grace Murphy freezes her defender with a shot fake, then blows past for the goal.
And Stonehill strikes.
Number 4. Game on the line, Joel McCormick walks it off for Robert Morris in overtime at Hobart.
Pass left, shot, score. Joel McCormick ends it.
Number 3. Central Connecticut's Jay Rogers splits 2 defenders and kisses it high off glass for the tough finish.
He drives, scoops it up and good.
Number 2. Wagner's Clea Casey delivers one of the plays of the year in NEC women's basketball. Behind the back to set up the reverse layup.
Are you kidding me? That was a highlight right there.
Number 1. 1 alley-oop is nice, 2 is even better, as LIU's Greg Gordon throws down a pair in this electric sequence.
Leading by 5, alley-oop!
There you have it. Those are your top 5 plays from the past week in NEC sports.
This is awesome, bro. This is what the Devils thrive in.
Lily, say hi to the camera.
The LIU Sharks are champions.
Central Connecticut, they win the NEC. There is Paquette, and she somehow beat the shot clock with a scoop.
Oh, what a move by Malachi Davis! The Seahawks' first ever NEC Women's Indoor Crown. And the goal!
for the NEC regular season title. It's LeMoyne.
LIU has done it. Back-to-back championships.
The Cougars have won the NEC championship.
With FDU Knights, absolutely perfect.
Foul.
Back to live action in New Britain, 44-37 with about 3 minutes to play in the third quarter. Again, neither of these teams will be going to the NEC tournament. New Haven not eligible. Central Connecticut failed to qualify, falling a couple games behind St. Francis and losing the season series head-to-head against St. Francis for that number 8 seed. St. Francis clinched the final playoff spot with their victory over Central Connecticut back on Saturday.
Couldn't get it to fall. Here's Hogan open on the perimeter. She'll miss. And Pearson out of Ramos. Ramos will feed back to Pearson. Lewis now. Here's Torre. Noyne looking to step back. Lewis under the rack. The layup is good. And here comes Granum. 2.5 minutes to go. Granum tries to feed. Lewis slaps it away. Grabs it. They will call.
Man, Lewis might be playing some of the best basketball in the league right now.
And they
don't tell her that this game doesn't mean anything. I don't think anybody's passed that along to her because she's playing right now like she's in the championship game.
In the third quarter, we'll keep it right.
And she's been playing like that for the last week or so.
And what a start to the second half.
All right, they are underway second half in Staten Island, where LIU comes out of the locker room a little dejected because they lost out on the number 2 seed without any doing of their own. And I'm sure word trickled down to them. Communication's a lot easier to come by nowadays. And at the same point, Wagner has to be ecstatic. They clinched a home game, and they didn't even have to do anything. They might not even win this game, but they still clinched the first-round home game thanks to LeMoyne's loss. So let's check in on LIU and LeMoyne, our next stop here on the Full Court Press.
On the year, and they're not quite.
All right, LIU opened up a sizable margin, and it's still growing. 47-28. Humphrey with a triple. She now has 12 points, 2 for 3 from behind the arc. And that takes us to a timeout. Largest lead of the game for LIU, a 19-point advantage. Is now they're just taking out some frustration. A 7-0 run coming out of the locker room for LIU after having now to settle for a number 3 seed in a first-round playoff game against Chicago State.
And 0 for 2 for Wagner, and haven't even gotten a rebound. Well, the shooting has been a problem for the Seahawks a lot this season. Came in at 38.5 from the floor, 24 from 3. We mentioned the free throws, bottom of the league in that category. LIU
so far here in this regular season finale, should be pointed out with the 3 finals that we have today, it's been a home team kind of night. All 3 home teams are in the win column so far. FDU earlier today, Stonehill and Mercyhurst. At the moment, Central Connecticut State is in that battle with New Haven, and the only home team that is in serious jeopardy tonight looks to be Wagner, trailing 47-28, although LIU kind of close to home. They're just over the bridge. They're 1 borough away.
The runs have not been favorable.
They're at the end of the third quarter in New Britain, 48-39. Central Connecticut looking for their second win of the season. They're shooting 40%. And again, it's Noyne, it's Lewis. They're just not letting this team lose. Noyne has 20. Lewis has 19. So we'll get you back out there at least one more time to see how that game finishes up. But this one between 2 of the top 4 teams in the league.
This is going to be on Tori. That's her third.
So if you look at, we already mentioned the quarterfinal games that have now been set up. St. Francis at FDU, that we knew coming in. The 8 seed traveling to the 1 seed. FDU swept St. Francis this year. I mean, they swept everybody this year, but they swept St. Francis this year. A 45-point win back in the second game of the season in conference play, and then a 22-point win earlier today. So sizable margin of victories in both of those games. Great team defense, limiting St. Francis in one case to under 30 points for the game, and then earlier today, under 40 points for the game. We'll see what happens when they match up in the tournament situation on Monday. It'll be their second meeting in 5 days. It'll be a little easier start time. Won't have to get up at 11 a.m., although Kaylee McDonald told us in our interview we showed you earlier, not really, they have practices at 11 a.m. So they're playing basketball in the middle of the morning or afternoon is not a foreign concept to these student athletes. They'll play in prime time on Monday night, 7 p.m. start time at the BOGO, and you'll see it on NEC Front Row. And, of course, we will have whip-around coverage just like we did with the men's quarterfinals last night. We will be back on Monday night with our full-court press for the women's quarterfinals. So you will see FDU and FDU on Monday night as part of our coverage. Also, we know Stonehill will be at Mercyhurst. It was a split or a Mercyhurst sweep this year. Mercyhurst swept both meetings against the Skyhawks this year. We have Chicago State at LIU. LIU will be the 3 seed. LIU swept both meetings against the Cougars this year, but it was just 1 year ago Chicago State, as the number 3 seed, upset Central Connecticut and got to the semifinals. So we'll see what happens. The Cougars is 6th seed for a second straight year, and then the 4-5 matchup will be in this very building you're looking at right now, the Spiro Sports Center. Wagner, win or lose tonight, they are the 4 seed based on LeMoyne's loss to Mercyhurst. Wagner will host LeMoyne. Those two teams have split the season series, each team winning on their home court. You see how you can't predict how things are going to turn out going into the next round. I mean, look at what happened last night with Wagner's men's team knocking as a 7 seed, knocking off Central Connecticut and throwing that whole tournament into bedlam. But we saw what Chicago State, as we just mentioned, did last year as a 6th seed on the women's side of things. But if you do peek ahead to a potential round 2, FDU would host potentially Wagner or LeMoyne, whoever the lowest remaining seed is. And then that other semifinal potentially could be hosted by Mercyhurst, just like the men's team is hosting a semifinal on Saturday. The women could potentially host a semifinal, and it could be against LIU or it could be against Wagner or LeMoyne if Chicago State pulls off another upset. So a lot of interesting things as we look ahead to potential opponents in this upcoming NEC tournament.
Free throw line jumper, KJ back iron.
That is now about a quarter and a half away. They're going to the fourth quarter in New Britain, so 1 whole quarter to play there and about half of a quarter. And then, okay, so I guess 2.5 quarters away because we got to count the fourth quarter here in this game. So we're 2.5 quarters away from the NEC tournament.
As far as we know, they don't know that. So maybe we see a little something here. Without the top player in the league on the bench for a while now with 4 fouls. Doy, fall away, floater, no good, in and out. Rebound, Humphrey. Humphrey's got 4 rebounds. Here's a 3 on this side, no good. Nunez, but bounced into the hands of a...
Tried to bounce it off, but Wagner steps in the way of the passing lane. Long football pass up ahead, but a little too far out of reach.
When she had no position and wasn't even close to the ball when it bounced on the floor.
So a turnover for the Wagner Seahawks, just their 8th of the game. LIU with 7 turnovers, but they have an 18-point advantage.
Finish the play, and that's not happening tonight.
Nunez back out to Humphrey. Jumper, 17-footer baseline, no. Doy the rebound. Up to KJ.
The Wagner Seahawks shooting just 22% from the floor. They're 1 for 9 from behind the arc. Offense not clicking. Nunez with a rejection.
KJ Foz, 15 to shoot. Foz outside the three-point line in front of the Wagner bench. Works the baseline, double team, stop, pop, no
Second
good.
block of the game for Lila Nunez.
Pushed ahead, all the way down, floater up and in off glass, Camille Wiley. And it's a 20-point ball game.
Wiley now with 8 points. As Wagner, their scoreless drought has gotten to around 2.5 minutes. They're 1 for their last 7. And the Seahawks are being outscored 12-4 here in the third quarter after getting outscored 18-10 in the second quarter.
Waits for Humphrey to come around. Wagner 2-3 zone. Here's Gaines. Cross-court pass, rotate around, right wing, three-pointer Acreage, front iron, back iron, won't get the friendly roll. Doy.
No good. Doy comes out of the pack with that rebound. Again, using the size advantage. KJ got off to a pretty solid start in this game, but foul trouble put her on the bench for a good chunk of that first quarter, and Wagner really hasn't been able to recover on the offensive side of things.
Landy and Dureste to come in. There's the floater. And Gaines gets the friendly roll on this end. 22-point lead for the Sharks.
They are off to a 14-4 start to this second half.
Yeah, I would say that word must have gotten to LIU in the locker room at halftime that, hey, you lost out on the number 2 seed, because they are taking it out on the Seahawks here in the third quarter.
Timeout. I'll tell you what, we talk about everything starts.
Yeah, Coach Coburn in big time need of a timeout here. It's a 16-4 run, 7-0 run over the last 3 minutes 30 seconds. 16-4 here in the first 6 minutes and 1 second of this third quarter. All LIU right now as they look to finish the season strong and take some momentum into the tournament as the number 3 seed. LIU looking for their 19th win and finishing 14-4 in conference play.
Averaging 13.1 a game, and Noyne trying to put up a little bit more, cannot. And that's the kind of
Noyne and Lewis each have 20 points, so combined they have 40 of Central Connecticut's 51 points in this game.
That has been critical to the success of Central Connecticut. A foul on the way to the hoop. This went off the
Talked with Coach Caruso, a former star player at UConn in the early Gino Auriemma days, former assistant coach under Gino at UConn as well back in the day. She told us that, I wish I had, a bunch more players like Luthia Noyne with just the work ethic and
with a make is New Haven. It's McKay.
The mentality, the mindset that she has in the court, the example that she sets in practice. Yeah, I think everybody would like to have 5 or maybe 10, 11, 12 Luthia Noynes too, but Central lucky to have one Luthia Noyne and also a Kyle Lewis. Future certainly looks like it's headed in the right direction for Central Connecticut State, and this would be a big coup if they can take this win
Pearson under a lot
into
of
the
pressure.
offseason, something to build on.
Recovers.
Noyne wide open.
The hoop. She scores.
Somehow the ball finds its way to Noyne.
Noyne was left all
and she's
by
there to clean up. I'd like to say that I
bucket.
could probably score that one, but even I would mess
ease.
that one up.
That is a defensive breakdown.
That was an incredible find
Pearson
off the turnover.
Had some pretty good control over it, recovered it, and they forgot all about the post.
And answering right back.
Okuwosa will retaliate with a bucket of her own. 53-46 the score.
Okuwosa, her first points of the game as we approach 6 minutes to go here in the fourth.
Here's Lewis losing the ball there, and a foul is called. 6 minutes to go just about. Jasmine McKay will pick up her third foul of the game. And for Central Connecticut,
Now, we mentioned,
6:03
we've
to
been
go.
talking about
They
the
are
quarterfinals a little bit. We mentioned that FDU St. Francis is set for 7 p.m. That was already publicized prior to tonight.
Making it a 9-point
We
game
now know
again.
the other 3 quarterfinals, and
McKay.
apparently it's been locked in at Mercyhurst hosting Stonehill. That'll be a 6 p.m. start time, so an hour earlier. So it looks like on Monday when we do this again for our whip-around coverage of the quarterfinals, it looks like we'll have some staggered start times. So in that case, we would be here on the air at 6 o'clock covering. A lot of screaming going on. I'm trying to explain times here, but it looks like we'll be on the air on Monday for the 6 p.m. Mercyhurst Stonehill game. By the way, I'm guilty. If you ever listen to one of my games, I'm screaming all the time too. So.
Ball is loose. McKay. I think some of the folks here wanted a double dribble on that, but McKay nearly losing the ball there. Pearson getting it back, and we have 5 minutes to play on the night.
All right, so half a quarter remaining in both these teams' regular season, neither one going to the NEC tournament. But from the players or the announcer, you wouldn't know it. They're leaving it all out there here in this regular season finale.
Back to Pearson. Pearson, a deep 2. No good. Ball tipped. Ball is loose. Lewis trying to get on it. It's a scramble. It's picked up by Simpson. Lewis reaches in, can't get it. Okuosa had it. Moves it back out to McKay. 4.5 minutes to go. McKay stolen by Noyne. Noyne gets fouled as she took the ball away. Anaya McDonald-Perry will pick up her second foul. And they will give this inbound in the backcourt to Ramos. Krista Ramos.
For New Haven, they have been involved in so many close games this season. They have a 3-8 record in games decided by 2 possessions or less in conference play. Right now, this not one of them as they trailed by 11, but they've been bitten a little bit by the injury bug as the season has come to a close. They've lost their last 7 in a row, and now it looks like New Haven might be in danger of taking an 8 consecutive loss streak into the offseason. But again, by the time they come back next year, they could be eligible for next year's NEC tournament, depending on what happens with LeMoyne. We asked Coach Buff if she noticed teams doing anything a little bit differently against New Haven the second time around, and she said, yeah, we are getting some different looks from teams from the first time that we saw them. They're playing us a little bit differently, and it's been difficult to adjust to.
It's on a 2-game skid.
A lot of lessons learned by Coach Buff and this coaching staff who were kind of behind the 8 ball from the jump. They found out they were moving into the NEC kind of late. Couldn't really bring in any new players in recruiting. Had to scramble to put together a schedule. So the fact that New Haven got off to such a great start in conference play
And here comes McKay.
It's certainly a great credit to these players and coaches. Obviously not the finish they would have liked, but they will finish in the top 8 in the standings. They would have qualified for the NEC tournament if they were eligible, and Coach Buck telling us that was one of our main goals this year, finishing in the top 5, or top 8, I should say. So in that case, mission accomplished for New Haven, and a lot of lessons learned. I know going forward into next year what to do. They also kind of learn what not to do as they move into year 2.
Key timeout in the third quarter on the back of a Kyle Lewis steal. And to protect that possession, they called a timeout instead of waiting for maybe a jump ball. Here's Noyne. Put up is no good. A foul. This will be on Central Connecticut. And the ball will go the other way with 2.5 to go. And the women on the floor are exhausted, but Central in a very good position here, up 60-46, 2.5 to go. And Central has looked fantastic the entire way. Foul by Central with 2:20 to go. This is some of the best basketball I think we've seen this team play all season. Do it against an in-state opponent. Trinity Barnes into the game, and Cora Patrick as well for Central Connecticut.
Coach Caruso telling us how down the stretch Central's chemistry has gotten better. They're working hard in practice. The freshmen, not really freshmen anymore. You hear that cliche, but this time of year.
From West Babylon, New York. We'll sink the first one.
All came together for Central. A little too late, but it all came together for Central Connecticut here these last couple weeks.
Ball is tipped by Patrick over to Barnes.
And so while New Haven will have a lot to be proud of in this initial campaign, not that much momentum though going into the offseason, Central Connecticut could have a lot of momentum, or as much as they could possibly have mustered with what they were working with going into the offseason.
Over to Patrick.
2 wins in their final couple games and playing their best basketball.
Central ball, and Cora Patrick caught up in a frenzy
down the stretch. And again, the effort in games like tonight, if we didn't tell you that these two teams were both eliminated from the NEC tournament or not eligible for the NEC tournament, I don't think you would have known it by the way Central Connecticut State is playing, and that's an ultimate credit to Coach Caruso and this team for coming out there and taking care of business at this high level.
And the Chargers, with 1:45 to go, it's McKay. McKay out to Hogan. Hogan looks for Solikowski. Here's a 3 ball, and the tray is no good.
Hogan seeing
by McKay. She'll get fouled.
The sand starting to run out in that hourglass. And what has been a pretty solid career in a New Haven uniform. We got to talk to her back in October at Media Week, and obviously we saw her accomplish her 1,000th point last weekend. She had a little bit of an injury earlier on in non-conference play, came back from that after missing a game or two, had herself a solid season, and got a taste of what it's like to be a Division I basketball player and be a part of the first ever New Haven team in the NEC.
And good the second time.
Lindsey Hogan, an engineering major.
And for Central Connecticut,
for the New Haven Chargers.
60-48 the lead. Here's Noyne. Noyne will look to Barnes. Barnes back
trying
outside.
To get it out. Hustle play by the Chargers. McKay had a little bit of a slide as she was trying to pull up for the layup. No whistle on a travel. The officials will give her the bucket.
Pearson's going to escape.
As we got a minute to go, 10-point game.
Pearson, final minute now of the season. Here's Noyne. Ball gets slapped out of her hands.
Scrappy New Haven defense. They're getting their hands in there. All kinds of deflections. Not making it easy for Central Connecticut to take the final seconds off the clock here and pull out their second win.
All goes according to plan. They will exit with their second and final win of the year.
No team has ever finished winless overall on a season in the NEC history in women's basketball. It was a little dicey there for a little bit, but Central Connecticut got their first win of the season a week ago, and now it looks like they're going to double it. They're going to head into an offseason with 2 wins, and they're going to be just on the outside looking in. 1 game behind St. Francis. They will finish for that 8th playoff spot.
And as the final half minute of this game wraps up, I have to give some special shout-outs here. Trevor Beal, Matt Paranase.
So, by the way, as this game finishes up, there is one other game going on right now. They just started the 4th quarter, Staten Island. 62-51. LIU in front of Wagner. We will get you to that game. You'll see the final buzzer of the final game of the regular season right here on the Full Court Press. That is coming up next. But first, the seniors coming off the floor, getting a nice send-off. Luthia Noyne again, 24 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists.
And it looks like Central
final game in Dietrich Gym.
Going to blow a whistle to bring in Electra Lakaki for Trinity Barnes, a senior transfer from UNC Asheville, playing her final game tonight. And this is my final women's basketball broadcast as a Central student. And it has been such a privilege to get an opportunity to call Division I women's basketball over 4 years. And Central
Final 10 seconds.
Some disastrous
Central
history,
Connecticut State.
as they will avoid their
It's been a crazy season for a team that was the number 3 seed a year ago. Lost a lot of firepower, but had a lot of hurdles to overcome.
They'll knock off New Haven for the
But
first time as D1
they get their
opponents.
second
They'll
win
split
of their
the
season
series,
in the
and
regular
Blue Devils
season
will win
finale.
here in New
They will
Britain
finish
tonight.
the year
A
at
final
2-27,
score of 60-50
2-16
Central
in conference play as they
They
defeat
look so good throughout
their
the
interstate
entire
rival, the New Haven
game.
Chargers, 60-50.
They will take a 10-point
Home teams
victory
are
to
4-0
end the
today.
season.
We'll see if
have some
Wagner can
post-game
make it 5
coverage
for
you
5 with a comeback in
a little
Staten
bit.
Island
So don't
as
go
our coverage
anywhere,
wraps up with
because
our final
post-game
game of the night
coverage
here
of
on the Full
final
Court
women's
Press.
basketball game of the season.
Wagner on the comeback trail, down 10, just past the opening minute in the fourth quarter. Final quarter of the women's basketball regular season. Glad you could be along with us for the Full Court Press here on YouTube, Twitch, Instagram. And now it's an 8-point game.
Make the officials make the call. And we're going to get a foul in the backcourt. That's going to be on Landy. That's 3 if it is. It's 4, on Olivia Landy.
Yeah, Landy just got the bucket moments ago and then committed her 4th foul. So LIU, one of the last times we checked in on this game, they were pulling away. They had a 24-point lead with 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. We're now a minute and a half into the fourth quarter. Wagner on a 19-4 run, and they've got it to within single digits. And they get another steal. Thought about it. Fouls top of the key now in between the circles. Again, Wagner doesn't need to win this game. They're already locked in as the 4th seed. They'll be hosting LeMoyne here at the Spiro Sports Center on on Monday night, part of our Full Court Press coverage. But boy, if they can sweep LIU, win a second straight game, and do it by coming back from a 24-point deficit with 4 minutes to go in the third, woo!
This is a 2-possession game.
Man, I don't know that I'd want to play. I wouldn't want to play the Wagner men's team or the women's team right now, the way that Wagner's making this a spirited fight on the comeback trail. It's a 21-4 run over the last 5 minutes of game time, and Varela will commit a foul. Or no, that's Doy. Doy with number 4. So Doy and Landy both with 4 fouls. Doy with 15 points, 9 rebounds, a rebound shy of a double-double. Torre for LIU. She has 4 fouls, 16 points, 7 rebounds to lead the way for LIU. We mentioned if you're just joining us, LIU without Willie's one of the second leading scorer behind Torre. So a little short-handed once again are the Sharks. Gaines misses the free throw. LIU shooting free throws at a 70% clip on the night. Rebounding margin between these two teams even. 14 LIU turnovers, a little more than Coach Harrow would like.
7-point ball game, 7:48 to go. KK, Landy.
7-point game. Foz lost the handle, and they're going to call an offensive foul.
That's her first. Another self-inflicted
Only the 10th turnover for Wagner.
And this is a little tough time to have this happen, to lose this momentum.
P back in for KK.
Inbound comes in to Camille Wiley. Into the lane, Wiley gets through, floats it up, won't go, gets her own rebound. And who's hurt down on the floor?
Wiley's down.
And Wiley went down. And also,
Well, that's the last thing that you want if you're Coach Harrow and LIU. You're already coming in shorthanded. You've been banged up down the stretch since you got off to that incredible start to the season, breaking all sorts of school records. You don't want any minor injuries right now, especially in a game that doesn't count for the standings. Both teams already locked in to their playoff position. So they're just playing out this 7:32 to try and not get anybody hurt and maybe take some momentum if you believe in momentum being an actual thing, taking that into the game on Monday. And who knows? These two teams could very well end up seeing each other again.
almost want to go right at her. I don't know why
Stonehill pulls an upset. Chicago State. Well, Chicago State would knock out, so wouldn't be these two teams again if Chicago State wins. But who knows? We've seen stranger things. Gaines missed the bunny. And look how lightning quick Foz is up the floor. I don't know that she needed to pass it. That extra pass may have just hurt her. As LIU gets the transition layup, Torre can run the floor just as well as anybody in the conference. She gets down there and now is up to 20 points.
Down the drain on these last few possessions.
Seahawks played so clean. End of that third quarter, earlier in this fourth, things have gotten a little loosey-goosey.
Yep, another one and out for Wagner.
LIU is gone now. And Torre committed the foul. That was Torre on the foul. That is her 5th. So the potential player of the year, who would be named player of the year about 4 days from now, she just fouled out of the final game. 20 points, 9 rebounds. But Wagner is on the comeback trail with 6:28 still to go. This game, anything but a sure thing. And that is the... Well, that's only the first team foul. So, yeah, so I don't believe going to be free throws here. But it will be Wagner ball. And LIU's top scorer fouled out. Second top scorer not playing. So where is LIU going to get the offense to get to the finish line here? Off balance, don't know. That was the look that Coach Coburn and the Seahawks were looking for.
6 rebounds, make that 7 now. 6 minutes to go. LIU by 11. Gaines into El Barkey.
Gaines trying to weave her way through traffic. She can't connect.
Pulls it away. Kalea into the front court at the free throw line.
LIU won for their last 6. And a foul. I think that's the best thing for Wagner right now, to get those fouls and get to the free throw line. Although we saw a couple games ago, the game, who were they? They played a game against New Haven 2 games ago, and they almost blew a fourth quarter lead by missing free throws. Now they're trying to come back by hitting free throws. So they're trying to flip the script here.
If she's not, I think there might need to be an investigation.
Barkey into double figures here tonight. 10 points in 15 minutes. Now up to 11 as she hits the second.
Don't know if she picked up any more after that. She had a fantastic season. Wagner trailing by 9. 5:34 to go. No Torrey the rest of the way. Opportunity knocking for the Seahawks.
Need to stop here, though.
Wiley with 5:23 to go. Pushes off Landy.
No push, no whistle. Officials eat the whistle right there. Step in front of the perimeter, and we have a foul now called away from the basketball.
That's 3 on Raineen.
As she put
Renee Melbark, after hitting the free throws to get it to double figure scoring, she commits the foul right there. That's her third. Wagner over the limit. So LIU with free throws here the rest of the way. Kiki Gaines, the grad student, has been well traveled. Time at Clemson, time at Auburn. Time at Auburn ended with missing the final 3 months due to injury. Then goes to Kennesaw State and has come back and has been a big piece for LIU this year. We've seen several times this year she could dunk, or at least attempt to dunk. She successfully executed what I believe went down in the stats as a dunk at the end of the LeMoyne game.
Surprised if Doy's not on the second team. Three-pointer, KK in and out, no good. Can't seem to get to fall tonight. Another rebound for...
Both teams are struggling to score here in the fourth quarter.
All over the court. I'll also be stunned out of my seat if Neil Harrow is not the coach of the year. 14 to shoot.
Well, that's an interesting conversation that the commentator there brought up. If you're asking me, if we took the polling at the end of January, I think Neil Harrow is the coach of the year. But today, or over the weekend, we're going to do the polling, I think Aaron Mills-Reed may have taken it. Just like Mercyhurst swooped in and took the 2 seed, I think Aaron Mills-Reed may have taken coach of the year. Neil Harrow certainly had a lot to overcome with all the injuries here down the stretch, so you have to take that into consideration. I talked to multiple coaches who, unsolicited, have commented on the great job that Aaron Mills-Reed has done this year. So I don't know. That's where I'm leaning right now, but we'll see when the ballots are revealed, or not the ballots, but the winners are revealed coming up on Monday. All right, should be our last commercial break. We'll be back with the final 4 minutes and change of the regular season here on the Full Court Press.
This is awesome, bro. This is what the Devils thrive in.
Lily, say hi to the camera.
The LIU Sharks are champions.
Central Connecticut, they win the NEC. There is Paquette, and she somehow beat the shot clock with a scoop. Oh, what a move by Malachi Davis. The Seahawks' first ever NEC Women's Indoor Crown.
And the goal for the NEC regular season title, it's LeMoyne.
LIU has done it. Back-to-back championships.
The Cougars have won the NEC championship.
With the FDU Knights, absolutely perfect.
Final 4:15 of the regular season. Glad you could be along with us on the Full Court Press, bringing you full coverage tonight of the regular season finale. We had two games in the 6 o'clock hour, 2 games in the 7 o'clock hour. 3 other games have all gone final. This is the last game left standing. Wagner got it close. They were down by as many as 24 with 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. Right at the beginning of the fourth quarter, they got to within 2 possessions, but LIU has stormed back and may have put this one away. A 3 ball by Lila Nunez. She now has 6 points moments ago. Made it a 15-point. The lead ballooned up to 15 with 3:36 to go. We're talking about some of the award winners. Torre, most likely player of the year. I don't know that there's anyone else in the discussion, really. We talked about the coach of the year. I think Aaron Mills-Reed may have swooped in there at the end. I also think that there's a good chance that Kaya Lewis may have swooped in at the last second and taken Rookie of the Year from Sophia Wilson. I mean, you look at the final 4 games for Kaya Lewis, 2 wins, 2 losses, 2-2. So if you look at wins and losses, 500 in those last 4 games. Kaya Lewis, 25 points, 21 points, 36 points, and 23 points. So if you like scoring in a barrage, I think you might tend to go to Kaya Lewis, and she had 28-point game earlier in there against Chicago State. She's been in double figures several times, 21 points against Stonehill, 24 against UMass Lowell. She's had some pretty productive games this year. But Sophia Wilson, again, I think if you took the vote a month ago, she was a shoo in all those consecutive Rookie of the Weeks. But does these last 2 weeks, when all the coaches go to their computers to vote over the weekend, do these last 2 weeks stand out? Do they think about the entire body of work, or are these last 2 weeks going to be fresh on their mind? I think that might determine who ends up as the Rookie of the Year. I think Kaya Lewis still has a pretty solid... I mean, if it were me, I'd still vote for Sophia Wilson, but I don't have a vote. Knowing what the tendencies of coaches and how they vote, I think Lewis might have a chance, but we'll have to see. And most improved player, I mean, CC Hernandez stands out to me. I've been saying that all season long. One of the most consistently improved players in her new role from this year to last year. So that would be my pick. I'm sure there's other players that are in big-time scoring jumps in new roles. And then you have your first team, second team, all defensive, all those. That'll all be released on Monday just prior to the quarterfinal round. And we will, of course, have the quarterfinal round streaming with you on YouTube, Twitch, possibly a third platform, just like we did here tonight. And just like we did last night with the men's quarterfinals, we had a lot of drama last night. We'll see if the ladies can equal or surpass some of the drama in the 4 quarterfinal games we got coming up on Monday. So just to recap for you what we know so far, we know that the number 2 seed is Mercyhurst. They will be taking on the number 7 seed Stonehill. Mercyhurst swept Stonehill this year in the regular season. That will kickstart our coverage of the quarterfinals at 6 p.m. FDU, the number 1 seed, they will be taking on SFU for the second time in 5 days. FDU has beaten the Red Flash by 45 points and 22 points respectively in their 2 meetings, holding them under 30 points and under 40 points in the 2 meetings. They will play at 7 p.m. at the Pagoda Savings Bank Center in Hackensack. Our other 2 quarterfinals, the start times are going to be determined upon the conclusion of this game. I mean, because LIU, they're in the middle of something right now, so they can't really declare what time their game is going to start. So LIU is going to be playing most likely either 6 or 7 against the 3 seed Chicago State. And when Wagner's done, they know that they are the 4 seed. They are hosting LeMoyne at the Spiro Sports Center. Again, they're kind of busy right now. So when they're done, they'll get to declare whether they want to play at 6 or 7 or probably not 11 in the morning like we saw earlier today. So the start times for the other 2 games will be coming up shortly. You can check out northeastconference.org and Tournament Central for the full schedule. Wagner fighting to the finish line here in the last minute 20 seconds. And Torre is already fouled out. Wagner has 3 players playing with 4 fouls, down 11. Wagner on a 6-0 run with 1 minute to go as LIU takes time off the clock.
Right before halftime, the NEC tournament will be coming to Staten Island on Monday night as IFC almost...
That'll be a shot clock violation Solid defensive possession for Wagner. So it looks like we're going to have 4 home teams winning on season finale Thursday night. And then LIU, the lone road team, to pull away a win. And that gets us to the best time of year. March Madness in women's basketball. The road to the 2026 NEC Women's Basketball Championship really gets interesting from this point on. It'll be win or go home. And we said this last night during our men's basketball stream. March Madness, and we said this with Kaylee McDonald in the interview we showed you earlier from our On the Run podcast this week. March really comes at you fast. One day you're here tonight waiting to see who your opponent is, what seed you're going to end up at. The next day, like you're eliminated, or the next day you're cutting down the nets. So I mean, it really jumps out. Kaylee McDonald telling us that one day they were playing their regular season finale, the next day cutting down the nets. 2 days later, they're on a jet going off to play TCU in the NCAA tournament. So I mean, March, it's really hard for players who haven't experienced it before to take a breath, take it all in, to really absorb the full experience, just because it's one thing after the next to the next to the next. And in some ways it has to be like that because you have to focus on where you're at the time. But Kaylee McDonald gave some great advice in our interview, and if you haven't seen it, you can check it out on the NEC social media channel. She talked about how you have to have your feet present in the moment. You have to kind of enjoy the moment where you are, just because it goes by so fast in March.
But we'll be home on Monday night. 6-second differential between game and clock. Inbound in the back.
Wagner still scrappy, getting ready to play LeMoyne on Monday. Those two teams split the regular season series, each team winning at home. LIU going to take on Chicago State. LIU swept Chicago State, but the 6th seed Chicago State beat the number 3 seed last year. They'll be looking to do it again. And then Stonehill, Mercyhurst, where Mercyhurst swept both meetings against Stonehill, and FDU, as we mentioned, taking on St. Francis. FDU sweeping both games against St. Francis this year. So those are your quarterfinals. It's coming up Monday night. And apparently we'll be here starting at 6 o'clock with our whip-around coverage for the full court press.
Makes one, so that makes it a 10-point game. Timeout, and they'll move the ball, I believe, here to half court.
Keona gains 16 points. LIU on an 8-1 run. So Torrey with 20 points, Gaines with 16, Humphrey with 14, Akridge with 12. 4 players in double figures for LIU. Doy with 15 points, 10 rebounds, a double-double on the night for Wagner. And Fernandez de Cayala with 14 points, 6 rebounds for Wagner. So while we have 30 seconds left, let's get to our 3 stars of the night. We've seen, besides the FDU St. Francis game that was played earlier today, we've seen all the games, all the players, all the stars, putting it all on the line here in the regular season finale, battling for seeding, positioning, momentum, in some cases history and records, and maybe end-of-the-year awards. Now that it's somewhat settled here, let's get to our final top 3 stars of the season, starting with our honorable mentions. We're going to start with Khadija Toure. She fouled out with about 6 minutes to go in this game, so her numbers could have been even more, but I think she really put that final cherry on top of the sundae, if she hasn't already, of that Player of the Year award. 20 points, 9 rebounds, a rebound shy of another double-double. She did all that in just 21 minutes of play. She's an honorable mention. We mentioned Lewis from Central Connecticut. 23 points, 8 rebounds. Noyne from CCSU, 24 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. And Jenna Van Schaik, 17 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. They're all honorable mentions. Now let's get to the top 3 stars. Our number 3 star of our regular season finale, Kaylee McDonald, our interview chat this week on the On the Run podcast. 17 points to lead the way for FDU, including 5 threes. She's up to 93 3 balls on the season. She's 7 away from getting to that 100 mark, over 5 threes per game. Over 5 assists, 5 threes per. So great numbers for Kaylee McDonald. We know what she can do stepping into that new role, as she talked about on the podcast. Our number 3 star. Number 2, Brooke Paquette, 29 points, 9 rebounds, just shy of a double-double, a career high in scoring as Stonehill got a big win against Chicago State. And our number 1 star of the night, just because of the performance in the second half, because of how big of a win that win had more weight than any of the other wins here tonight, really solidified and set in stone the rest of the league. Mercyhurst's win tonight over LeMoyne. CC Hernandez, our number 1 star of the night, 19 points, 10 of 12 from the free throw line. Again, driving to the basket, getting the fouls, making the free throws, and helping Mercyhurst with the biggest win of the night in terms of tiebreakers and seeding. And that win to get Mercyhurst the number 2 seed locked in the rest of the league. So the biggest player in what ended up being the biggest game, CC Hernandez, our number 1 star here in the regular season finale. And with that is a wrap on the 2025-2026 NEC Women's Basketball regular season. March Madness, here we come. The quarterfinals get underway on Monday night, and we will be here for whip-around coverage for the NEC Full Court Press. You will see Stonehill and Mercyhurst get things started at 6 p.m. Chicago State, LIU, LeMoyne, Wagner, St. Francis, FDU. Only winners advance from this point out, reseeding after the first round into the semifinals, and then the 2 semifinal winners will match up in the 2026 NEC Women's Basketball Championship game, which will come your way on Sunday, March the 15th. So that'll just about do it. We thank you for joining us here on all our platforms tonight. We hope you enjoyed the final night of NEC Women's Basketball. We will see you right back here on Monday as we bring you the Full Court Press for the NEC Tournament quarterfinals. From the NEC Home Office Studios, I'm Craig D'Amico, and this has been the regular season finale, NEC Women's Basketball Full Court Press.